Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. I love seeing all the faces start to populate. It is going to be a full house tonight. So thank you for showing up early to everybody that's on right now. As you will notice, this is a traditional Zoom format. So you're going to see pictures and faces from people all over the globe. We're excited to have you with us tonight. We're excited to have Tyler Peterson with us and Tom Herman, my partners at Valiant. And thank you all for taking time to jump on with us tonight. So we are going to give everybody a couple of minutes. We just sent out the final Zoom link to everybody's emails. We did have to up, and we maxed out. I've never maxed out a Zoom room before. We have 1,000 people joining us, and we will need every spot. So thank you for joining. And we had nearly 2,000 people registered. So that's why we sent out so many urgent messages of being like, hey, make sure that you come early, lock down your spot. So appreciate you guys all joining, being patient with us as we're waiting for all these people to join. But we will be jumping in here, sharing screen. Tonight we will do a presentation. Tyler's going to walk us through how he got started, just everything that's going on in the NFT space, how you can get started too, and basically take over the world of NFTs, right? So without further ado, in the chat, if you will, just kind of drop in where you're from. We want to get a good base feeling for where you're from, where you're located. We've been on the phone with a lot of people out of the Asia areas, New Zealand's, Australia's, Africa's, all the way through the United States. I think we've had students or education relationships with people in all 50 states. I think, Tom, what was our last count? We've done work in almost 30 countries now, probably even more than that now, but we're excited to have you all here. And I am Walden Fenster, and I will start sharing my screen now. We will start to jump into this training and get going here. So don't want to keep everybody up all night. All right, Tom, can you see my screen?
I can.
Perfect. All right. So for everybody joining, this is the masterclass on how to turn NFTs and ATMs. And tonight we're joined by a former corporate banker who made his annual bonus overnight and now trades NFTs full time. He's going to help us expose 3 myths that might have stopped you in the past from trading NFTs. The disclaimer that we always have to read at the beginning of these is this is an educational and entertainment-based presentation. We are talking about our previous history, our previous results, and how we get results. We're giving you the content, we're giving you the education so that you can go on and do what you need to do to become financially successful. We are not investment advisors registered with the SEC. We're not lawyers, we're not accountants. We can talk about those subjects, however, we cannot make professional recommendations. So another good note, and I joke around with this, but like, we will never tell you to send us money. We will never tell you to sell your house and invest it all into Bitcoin or an NFT or an ape or whatever, right? We're not those people. We're here to educate you. We will entertain you, because who wants to be on a Zoom that's boring, right? Like, there's enough of those that float around. There's meetings that happen all day, every day in all of our lives. So we will do our best to entertain you. Keep it lively. If you've ever been around Tom, myself, or Tyler before, you know that we are fun-loving guys. We like to joke around, and we like to bring that angle of things into it, so it's not a dull, boring conversation. This is a financial industry, and I feel like boring is the norm in a lot of cases when it comes to investment. And this is not boring, I'll tell you that. So tonight, our goal is to teach you how to make money trading NFTs, not just educate you about NFTs, how to save them, all this stuff. Most courses out there right now, that's their job. That's all they want to do is say, okay, well, let's teach you how to learn about an NFT. Let's teach you about what it even stands for and give you the history of it and all this stuff. That's not what we're about. We're income focused. We're profit focused. We want to make sure that you're able to move on and successfully make money trading NFTs and being part of the project. If we successfully achieve that goal, our largest goal is to help you multiply your money and allow you to buy back your time. Time is a very valuable thing. Time is more valuable than money. But by trading, by using money to make more money, you'll be able to buy back your time. And if you stay until the very, very end, we are going to do some personal recommendations and on ways to accelerate your results. And we have a super secret update. And I will give a little secret update hint. It involves a NFT mint that's about to happen in the upcoming weeks. So lastly, there will be a Q&A session. It's open-ended. If you've ever attended one of our trainings in the past, when we say open-ended, we mean open-ended. We will stay on with you until the questions are answered. We're not the type of people to leave people hanging. We want to make sure that you get every question answered so that you can go on and be successful. So leave us some time at the end. It's not a quick session of Q&A, but it gives you a lot of time to learn from others and get full information, because there's only a little bit of time for us tonight to share a ton of stuff that's happening, a ton of education. So stay on, because the Q&A will really allow you to get a whole nother bonus training basically included. So you might think, who are you? And my name is Walden Finster. I am a professional trader. Prior to this, I was a serial entrepreneur and startup expert. Been hired by many corporations all over the globe to come in and handle everything from trading on the sales side and negotiation to building out and doing turnaround projects and software stuff, just crazy diverse skills. As an entrepreneur, I've been a part of over 60 startups in either the founder or co-founder role, ranging from pet companies to keto bar companies to software companies. My wife and my kids are, as you see here, my wife Danielle and I have been married 8 years, coming up on 9. And I am a father of 4. So we have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So we have our hands full. And what most people think about me is they think, hey, this guy professionally trades. He probably just sits in his office all day and just trades back and forth. And that's not the case. I live my life and I've designed my life to put my family as a focus. And I don't want to be the guy sitting there on his phone 24/7. So hopefully the skills that you learn tonight will allow you to achieve results without spending your whole life looking at a screen, which is terrible. I also have online tonight with me Tyler Pedersen. He spent 12 years as a corporate banker. I first met Tyler because he was actually a Valiant student. He came through our stock trading course years ago. He was one of the guys that he came through, got instant results, but he just started helping us build community, and he's always present, and he's always active, and like he was just that guy that had a heart to serve and a heart to educate others on what he was doing and how he was doing it. And he evolved. He went from our stock course to our crypto courses. And then he took all that education. And when NFTs really started to evolve, he was one of the first people out there to get involved and become a professional NFT trader. Currently, he's a top tier analyst for NFT projects across the globe. He's married to his wife, Sadie, here for coming up on 5 years. And he's a dad that is a girl dad. You know, he's got Eleanor and Salone, as you see here, both littles, but very blessed. And you know my partner, Tom, he's on here. He will not be part of the training tonight, but I do want to just give a couple quick hints and blast out to Valiant. To date, we've trained hundreds and thousands of students since 2020. Our courses average almost 5 stars from all of our students. We've gotten results from people all over the globe, and a lot of students, just like Tyler, that went on to be full-time traders. And basically, Tom, as you see here, we've put on successfully at least 3 training calls per week to members for almost 2 years now. So we have trained people all over the globe, and I'm super pumped to now have Tyler be part of Valiant Trading with us. So tonight we're going to cover non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. At this point, I'm going to turn over the reins to good old Tyler here and have him start walking you through his background, his story, how he got started, the ups, the downs, the hard ways, the easy ways, the myths that he's found, and basically give you the education that you came here seeking to become a better NFT trader or make money with NFTs. So Tyler, with that being said, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Walden. Appreciate everyone being here tonight on this nice Thursday night. I really do appreciate you guys signing up and wanting to learn about NFTs. I'm very passionate about NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and I'm really excited to share my story, where I came from, and really give you that knowledge that you guys are looking for to get started trading and looking at NFT projects. So I want to share a little story with you in the beginning, but before I do that, if you guys are pumped up and excited about NFTs, put a Y in that chat right now. We told you there was going to be a lot of entertainment tonight. So if we don't get a lot of Y's in here and keep you guys engaged, we're not doing our job.
Wise. I'm pumped up. I'm excited.
Okay, good, Walt. I'm glad that you are. So, yeah, the Y's are coming through now. Awesome. So great. Well, I want to tell you guys a little bit of story about how I became engaged within NFTs. And a story about my second daughter, Sloan. She was getting ready. We were getting ready to have Sloan back in June of last year. In May, a friend approached me and said, "Hey, what do you know about this Boyd Yacht Club and how much do you know about NFTs?" I said, "Well, I know a little bit about NFTs. I've been trading crypto a lot. I've been in crypto since 2013. I know of them, but not really dove into a project or anything." He's like, "Well, check it out." So I'm like, "All right," checked it out, spent about 30 minutes on it. I'm like, "Well, the art is okay. They want to build a community. I have no clue anything about it." So I told him what I thought and said, "I don't know. I don't have enough time to research. We're getting into meetings and stuff with the pregnancy and stuff like that." So I passed on that. And little did I know what I was passing up on, but we'll explain that later. Well, we had our daughter in June, little baby girl, and then I had a 4-month parental leave with my previous employer. So what I did is I really wanted to dive down deep into the NFT space because I saw it coming. I saw what was happening in the future. I wanted ahead of it and learn more about it. And so in August, I started trading NFTs, and it started out not so good, but in the 8 months, I've done a lot of things right within the NFT space. What have I done right? Well, I've grown my portfolio over 150%, right? I have really done a lot of research and became a top tier analyst for a lot of communities and groups that they trust my information that I give out to them. I try to get one step ahead of other people, try to figure out what the next best project is. I've helped people get started within the NFTs. I've sat down with people. So there are a lot of things that I have done right, but man, I tell you what, I have done a lot of wrong things, a lot of them. And why I tell you that is because I want to tell you my failures. I want to tell you what I did wrong, so then you guys don't have to go through that. The NFT space is already hard enough to navigate, to even understand. So if I can help you along the way right now and give you that information, then that's what I want to explain to you. So let's get into how I got things started. Oh boy, this is something to laugh about. I told you this is going to be entertaining. If you look on the right, so ROI for people who aren't in the financial industry, that means return on investment. And this was my first month of trading.
Tyler.
No, there's a lot of red. It looks like the World War III in crypto right there. So really, I wanted to highlight a couple of things here. So this was literally when I got started into trading, and I kept a trade log because that's what I did in Valiant and as a student learning how to trade. I really wanted to log on what I was doing and see my performance, and then I could change things. So you see there are 2 boxes. They're highlighted 100 loss. Yeah. What I learned within the first month is that projects and NFTs, they can go to zero really quickly. And why is that? I mean, and why do these NFTs become worthless that you see on the screen? Well, a lot of that is because you don't do research. I didn't know what I was doing to start with the first month, so I made a lot of mistakes, and I really didn't. Excuse me. Let me step back here. So yeah. So
Lost your place.
Yeah, lost my place. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Again, I told you that we would make this very entertaining. So the first month, definitely very hard on me. But in the 7 months after that, I found ways to make things easy. So I want to give you guys a choice tonight. Next slide.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. So as you look here, we've got a difficult choice here on the left, and there's an easier way on the right. Obviously, as human beings, we always want the easier way. And so tonight, what I'm going to explain to you is the hard way, what I went through within the first month of my trading. And this is really what it looked like. And this is the reason why I think a lot of people get very lost within the NFT space to begin with. So what I was doing within the first month, I was trading with a lot of FOMO. So FOMO is fear of missing out. So that you have a lot of that emotion. And when you see project go and you see people making money and you're not, you're gonna dive in, and that's a way to lose money, because sometimes you're buying the project at a very high price when people are trying to sell it to you. So again, that I had within that first month, it was just I felt like I was missing out, and I needed to get into those projects more. The second one is I isolated myself. I did not have a community. So as Walden said, I did come through Valiant. I went through the day trading, or the trading course, the stock course, the crypto course, and things like that. So I had a community in that, but not a lot of people knew about NFTs. I didn't know, or I hardly knew about NFTs. I knew about as much as I scratched the surface. But Walden didn't know anything about NFTs. Tom didn't, and they thought I was kind of crazy even looking at these things.
We did. I mean, I'm connected with people all over the globe, and I can literally say that Tyler was the first person I met and could actually trust to explain NFTs to me. Like he went out and he did his own thing, and he learned the hard way. He learned the easy way, but like he was the first person that even brought NFTs into my world back when they first kicked off. So like that's what's crazy about this is, like, when you're a pioneer and a trailblazer, you do end up with some arrows in your back, right? So like when you start to really see the hard way here, you have to understand that the trailblazer is usually that guy that's out in front of the pack that has isolated himself. And that's kind of the exact opposite of what you want to do, right, Tyler?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I want to explain to you what, like, my first experience and what I did wrong. And isolating yourself and trading alone, you get really devastated. So I got really down on myself, and then I wasn't diving into projects a lot, right? I just was like, hey, this is cool. They're going to build a community. I get a free t-shirt. That's awesome. Cool. Let's buy it. And so my lack of research was not there. And I'm a researcher. And I think a lot of people who know personally, like I won't buy something unless I really research it. So, and then I saw a lot of people within the space get in early and overextend. So push alert chips in on one project, and those projects might go to zero. So they lose it all in the beginning. So that's really the hard way that we're looking at. And so what I found, again, in the next 7 months after that, I found the easier way. And I want to show you what happened last week when I did the easier way. So last week, I increased my portfolio by 10 Ethereum. Roughly, that's around $30,000 for people who don't know the price of Ethereum right now. So I was really, really happy with that. I was proud of that. And I did that without having emotion. I did that with being able to walk away and spend the night with my kids and not having to worry about my trades. So that's really what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. But first, you might have some objections, and there might be some myths about what you've heard about NFTs. And so I really want to go through those three with you right now on why there might be some objections about the space in general, and me being in it for 8 months, and I've got thousands of research. I've got thousands of hours just looking at things. So I want to debunk these myths and explain to you really why NFTs are not calculated or just another fad, and why people around you are saying they're just a scam or get rich quick scheme, and why you need a lot of money to trade NFTs, right? So I want to really talk to you about those. And if you guys are ready to learn about it, type a yes in that chat. I'm gonna do this all night so I can see how engaged you guys are.
I'm ready to learn myth one.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, myth one, man.
All right. Let's jump into myth one. NFTs are just too complicated or just another fad. So I'm gonna be really simple with you on this. So what I'm gonna do is explain what a non-fungible token is. An NFT is a very short phrase of what we use it for. And so really an NFT is just a digital asset secured on the blockchain that gives value back to its holders. It's really that simple when you think about it. Let me repeat myself again. An NFT, a non-fungible token, is just a digital asset secured on the blockchain that gives value back to its holders. When you think about it, that's pretty simple. Now you might say, Tyler, what is non-fungible? I don't understand that. So let's look at the definition of fungible. So you've got a dollar bill $1 bill equals $1 bill. You can convert those. They are the same. One Ethereum equals one Ethereum for people who are in crypto. One Bitcoin. Non-fungible, when you look at that, I'm going to take you back to your childhood days to where you had a sports car, a Michael Jordan card, Shaquille O'Neal card, or you had a Pokemon card that was rare versus a Pokemon card that was not rare and common. Those are not fungible. They're not equal in value. So you can't trade the like amounts. So when we look at non-fungible and we're looking at non-fungible tokens, tokens are digital assets on the blockchain, and then non-fungible, we're just looking at assets that are not equal in value because there are rare traits, there are rare features within a collection of NFTs. So when we look at that, I want to give another example, because you might be thinking, Tyler, how are these projects giving value back to their holders? Well, a lot of people in here, Gary Vaynerchuk, we know him as Gary V within the space. He's big in the NFT space. He came out with his own project back in May called VeeFriends. And he is giving his holders 3 years of conferences if you hold that NFT, right? So you're able to buy the NFT for 1 ETH. Now you're able to go to his conference for 3 years just to learn about NFTs and meet people in the space. So you were given a ticket, and you're either going to go to the conference or you can sell it to someone. Right now, that ticket's worth 1.6 Ethereum. So that is value that Gary's giving back to his community and to his holders. And so when we're looking at projects, we're looking for that value to give back to the holders, because you are an investor. Do we have time for one more example here, Walden, or not?
Yeah, go for it, man.
So another one I want to talk about is in the video game space. If anyone in here has played a video game and you've bought a skin, right? And a skin is to power up your character, to power up your person, to be stronger, to defeat someone, right? You've bought one of those. Well, you don't own that. The game owns that. The companies own that skin. Well, that skin is just an NFT, right? That's an asset that you put on your character. And then now, if you want to sell that, or if you want to take that off and put another skin on, you can. But if it was an NFT, you own that skin. You could then sell that skin to someone else who's playing the game. That is a difference maker on NFTs right now. And so I think that's the biggest thing on how to explain what an NFT is. So I'm going to pause there real quick, because I think that's a lot to understand, but I tried, hopefully I made it simple for you and relayed to you on what an NFT is. All right, Walden, let's see who these companies are that are getting into the NFT space, because there's probably not a lot of companies right now getting into the NFT space. I tell you what.
And like when you start to really address this and look at the companies getting involved, that's what shows you it's not just another fad, right? This is what starts to show you the relevancy of these bigger publicly traded companies all getting into the NFT space. We even had the Deutsche Bank guys and the JP Morgan Chase guys come out this week and start talking even more about creating NFTs in the NFT space. This is coming from companies and banks that 2 years ago were saying that crypto was a scam, crypto was a fraud, NFTs are never going to happen, all this stuff. And now not only did they change their stance, but now they're in the industry, right? So like I'm excited to learn more about what you have going on this slide, but like it's just another verification point that it's not another fad, guys. NFTs are definitely here to stay. So
yeah, so let's start out with a company everyone knows, Facebook, right? Publicly traded company. I think $20 billion in revenue, Walden. I mean, they've got stock. They're the social media giant that we talk about, right? And well, what did they just do a couple months ago, right? They officially changed their name to Meta, right? And Meta is short for metaverse. And the metaverse is the area that NFTs really operate into, your digital land, your digital assets, right? And so as a publicly traded company, as a social media giant, you know, when you look back when eBay and Craigslist and they adopted that into the Facebook marketplace, they're now forward-looking thinking, because they also own the Oculus, and you want to forward think and look at what's coming down the line. So Zuckerberg, in my opinion, is very thoughtful about what he's doing and how he's going to take the company and what's coming next to be more of a technology company within the metaverse and create those digital lands that people can operate and have a social network within the digital land. So more to come on Meta, but The other two I want to talk about are very major brand that everyone is aware of, Adidas, right? So there's two different stories here. Adidas, they partnered with a current NFT project called Punks Comics. And what Punks Comics is they're just they created comic book characters, and they're making comic book out of them, and you actually get to own that IP right to your comic character. So Adidas came in and they said, hey, we want to partner with a known brand. We want to partner with someone. And so they did an NFT with this brand. And what they're going to let people do is have clothing with Adidas brand on it. So you're walking around in the metaverse and you're going to have an Adidas shirt or Adidas shoes on. So they want to make sure their branding's ahead in this. They want to partner with other ones. There was actually other partners within, I think the Bored Apes were actually in this as well. So it wasn't just Punks Comics. So you saw they wanted the major brands already within the NFT space. The next one I'm going to go over is Nike. Everyone knows Nike, big athletic giant that we know of, but they actually bought a company that was actually a studio within the NFT space called Artifact, right? You look at that name, you don't think it's Artifact, but that's Artifact. But what Artifact did is they've done a lot of digital asset already NFTs, but what also they just did was a 20,000 supply, so 20,000 avatars or characters, identities within the metaverse. So Nike came in and said, hey, people are choosing these identities. They're choosing what they want to look like in the metaverse, in the digital land. So why don't we partner up with them and buy them out? And so then we have straight access to these people who want to embrace the metaverse, and down the line, they can create shoes as well, and they can create clothing that people are going to wear. So when you're looking around your metaverse or in your VR goggles, you're going to be able to recognize those two brands. And you look at these companies, right? You look at these companies, and they are forward thinkers within this industry. And in my opinion, you've got a lot more coming down the pipeline, but these are honestly the trailblazers of your public companies that are doing it. So when we look at that, we're saying, well, why would they partner with them? So you got to think about the next generation. And I think this is where it's most important. The next generation that's going to be coming up and working, creating companies, being entrepreneurs. And what are they doing all the time? Because I talk to a lot of people in my previous job. I talk to a lot of people, and everyone said that 16-year-olds nowadays don't want to get their driver's license. I mean, I'm a kid from 1986, and I just couldn't wait to go drive. And so, so these kids, what they're doing is they're 16 to 25. No offense if we have anyone in that age group in this chat right now in the presentation, but really they want to be online. They want to be connected, right? Online. They want to be on TikTok. They want to be playing their games. Well, do you remember when mom said you'll never make any money playing those darn video games? Because I do. I played a little video games back in the day, but you'll never make any money doing that. Walden, were you ever told that?
I was, but we never really had that opportunity to sit down and play too much. But I remember playing Madden, like what it was, Madden 98, and like it was like that rare treat that we got to sit down and play. But it was the same thing, like you just said, like the mindset of you're never going to make money with that. Why would you spend all your time playing video games?
Right. So I want to bring that up, and you see two graphics here on the screen, and we're starting to see AAA gaming studios prepare to launch this year. So what is that? What is a AAA gaming studio? It's just a studio that's well known within the regular space, an Xbox, PlayStation, right? They're well known to build these games, computer games. So what they found is they want to come into the cryptocurrency, the NFT space, right? So let's take Phantom Galaxies, for example. They're coming out in Q3, but they're going to start launching their NFTs, right? And it's kind of a galaxy spaceship type of game. And they're going to have planets, they're going to have spaceships, they're going to have space stations, and you're going to be able to own those as an NFT. It's all separately, right? And you're going to pay money for them. And maybe you're saying, well, I don't want to play video games. I don't want to do this. Well, you could be an investor and you can actually rent those out to people to play for you, and you'll earn tokens that usually then will come back, and you can convert to Ethereum, or you can convert to another token to then either pay your investment back or pay people that are playing for you. So I really think that's cool. And that's a computer game that you download. So that might not be fitting for a lot of people, right? You might not be interested in doing that. Well, let's look at the graphic on the right. And that's a game called, go back. Yeah, that's fine. That's a game called Crypto Raiders. And Crypto Raiders is a web browser game. So anyone with an internet connection can play it, right? And there's a lot of game theory in it, but it's really simple to operate. So anyone who can click a mouse can send their person and go collect things, bring them back, and then you get more NFTs, right? So as you collect more NFTs, you can then sell those NFTs on the marketplace. You can sell them to other people, right? To earn money back, to earn your investment back. Or if you don't want to do that, you can create a bigger army for yourself, get more things, and increase your investment in like your team. So when we really think about this and say, you know, you look at the generations coming in, what they love to do, they love to play video games. You're already starting to see video games come into the NFT space. So
another really cool, a lot of people probably saw this in the news, but there are literally people in third world countries that this is how they're actually providing for their families. So instead of going out and like capturing a chicken and killing it and selling it at the market or fishing or whatever, they have internet access in a lot of even third world countries now. And there is populations and civilizations that this is how they're making their money for their family, is they are literally playing video games, earning these NFTs, unlocking things, unlocking new players and characters and skins and securing land. And they're turning around and selling that NFT asset, taking that profit off of blockchain. And that's how they're now providing for their families. Like when we start to really look at this adoption cycle, which we'll get into in just a second, we're witnessing forever. Traditional finance has told us that we need to be able to like capture the younger generation because they're the ones that they're going to become the investors. That's why last year Merrill Lynch got really, really scared for a long time, and they probably still are, because as COVID and as the pandemic happened, a lot of people started investing their own money, started spending time controlling their own assets. And as they did that, they noticed that people weren't bringing them the money anymore. They noticed that people were out there trading, getting results themselves. And now, like, you don't have a need for a Merrill Lynch, right? So like, as they are identifying that the youngest generations now are not going to need financial brokers anymore. They're already on crypto. They're already trading. They're already investing. And now they found ways to even increase their portfolio values by playing games. That's why you see this adoption cycle and why NFTs are not a fad. That's why they're here to stay, is they see the younger generations adopting, right? So Tyler, let's talk a little bit about NFT adoption cycles.
Yeah, when you look at this, right?
Sorry for the fuzzy image, guys. I don't know why it's so fuzzy.
Yeah. Again, I'll walk you through this, right? Let's go back, and I'm going to go through this pretty quickly until we get to mass adoption. But 2009, you see Bitcoin come out. 2013 to 2015, you only see Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin come out, right? There's not much adoption. It's very new. Then you see 2017, you see Ethereum come out and some other coins. 2021 and 2020 and 2021, you start to see the boom, right? You start to really see the boom on the cryptocurrency, and you started really seeing the boom on NFTs, right? And so when we look at this down the road, I still think we are 5 to 10 years down the road from being a mass adoption on the NFT space, because we're not seeing that many companies come in. We're not seeing a lot of things come in. But I tell you, once the games start coming, once the AAA studios start coming, there's going to be more and more mass adoption to what an NFT is. And really, that's why I got started. That's why I quit my job, because I saw what was coming down the road, and I wanted to be a part of that and be able to teach people who are interested in coming in the knowledge of what the NFT and metaverse is like. So really, that's why I feel that we're still a little bit early on this.
Very early. We're definitely tracking, because like my accounting firm, like not mine, but the accounting firm that I use, they just opened up an accounting office in the metaverse so that people can now go to them for accounting and tax preparation, accounting, and all that stuff happens in the metaverse. And I think they are literally the first accounting firm to do that. I'm also in contact with the first law firm that opened in the metaverse. So like, we are very, very, very early on the NFT adoption cycle. And it took literally almost 13 years for Bitcoin to get to where it's at right now. But it opened up the door, it opened up the knowledge to where this will move faster. But as what Tyler was saying is, it requires more and more businesses and sectors to get involved and become educated and open up their presence in that metaverse. So like there is a humongous adoption cycle that's about to take off. And that's why even the information tonight, like now you're building awareness and education and knowledge around what's to come. So super important stuff here.
Yeah, this is what gets me excited that we're still early, and that's exciting for me. So then, yeah, so let's talk about our NFTs are just scams, right? Or just get rich quick. I can make money anytime, and that's what it is. So people just get lucky all the time. So let's jump into this.
I want to tell a story quick though, Tyler. Is it all right if I tell a story?
Yeah, you can tell a story.
All right, guys. So I was part of some trades last week on the minting side. Literally last Friday, I took like 0.25 Ethereum and converted it into about 3.5 Ethereum. So within one morning, it went from basically, what is 0.25 Ethereum? It was basically $1,000 at that time, or that point, less than $1,000, into over $12,000, right? Oh, literally a 12x return in a morning of minting and trading NFTs. And that some of the stuff we'll show you tonight. But what happened next is where I'm just like, man, how could this have happened? But it was like such a blessing in disguise because I get to now share this experience with you. Like I got involved in another mint, but I was through a fraudulent website, a website that is there to scam people, is there to be fraudulent, malicious, and negative intent. And when I did get ready to go mint it, I minted an NFT without reading the contract. I didn't take the preventative measures and some of the stuff that we'll cover tonight in the risk management section. I didn't do that. I was trying to move too fast. I didn't read the contract all the way through. I executed the mint. And when I executed the mint, it basically was a fraudulent contract. And that contract waited until the following day to take all the coins that I had in my MetaMask wallet, which we'll get into tonight also, converted it to Ethereum and transferred it to somebody else overseas. Right? And just like that, 12 grand was gone. So the stuff that you're about to learn on these next two slides with Tyler, this stuff is important, guys. Like this is like, you can make a ton of money, but what's it matter if it can just be gone like that? And there is no regulatory body. It's not like I can call up like MetaMask and say, hey, can you reverse this transaction? It's like, no, like that money is gone. Like that is to a new wallet overseas. You can pull it up online and see that they did the same thing to a dozen people and they literally pulled all the money out of there. So the stuff that we start to talk about now about avoiding scams, how to identify scams, like fraudulent projects, like this stuff is super important because I would rather make smaller amounts of money, but know that it's safe than make big chunks of money and know that it's always at risk. So over these next couple slides, really pay attention with what Tyler's got to say.
Yeah, and again, like any industry that you're in, there's going to be scammers, in my opinion. We look at the financial industry where I came from, and people steal your debit card information all the time and stuff like that. So there are always going to be malicious players within every industry you're in. It's just how do you protect yourself and your assets from those scammers? And then in the NFT and crypto space, there's no insurance, right? There's nothing behind you. So you really have to be very proactive on what you're doing. So some tips on here. So how do you protect your assets? And I don't know what you're doing with the screen wall. There you go.
I wasn't, man. I was letting, or I guess I didn't have it blocked for people to.
Yeah, you're good. All right. Anyway, so really some to start out with is when we talk about, buying an NFT out of a wallet, right? Your cryptocurrency wallet. What I always recommend is that if you're going to go buy something for 0.25 or 0.5, you only want to really keep in there 0.75 to 1 ETH because you got some transaction fees in there. So I wouldn't, if you have 10 Ethereum in your wallet, I would not keep all of it in your main minting wallet. So it's really understanding how to navigate those wallets and things like that. I only keep a big chunk in there if I know I'm going to be going for a bigger type mint or things are coming down. So I do that. again, when we talk about the NFT space, the biggest communications within NFT is called this program called Discord, right? That's where everyone discusses NFTs. It's where you learn about projects. Well, I actually had someone that I knew through Valiant DM me one day and was like, "Hey, I just got this mint for this project." I said, "Well, that project's not minting for a couple of weeks." I said, "I would not click on that. That's a scam." So he joined, and a scammer sent him a direct link, right? So if he would have clicked on that and connected his wallet to the website, he would have lost whatever was in there. So these are tips that people don't understand learning beginning. And this is what really upsets me about this NFT space, and why I'm so proactive about it, is that there are malicious people who are there trying to scam people. And I want to make sure that we protect people in this chat and around to be made aware of what's going on. So again, another tip would be only mint or buy from official social media websites, right? Or Discord websites. People get frantic. People get in a hurry. Oh, I'm going to miss this. And that's how scammers get you, right? If you could just control, understand what you're doing, take your steps and really connect to the correct links, you'll be fine. And then again, it's just confirming everything within the interaction, within the contract, within things like that you're doing. And that's things that we'll teach you and learn with you. The other thing is I would say is, keep some of your money in a cold wallet or off storage wallet as well. And we can go over those later, but those are really ways
to really protect yourself. That's where my story, I was like, I'm happy that somebody took 12 grand from me. I'm literally happy because it literally taught me the lesson that all 4 things on this slide, I have to have this. This is one of my checklist things. It's I'm only keeping enough money in there for minting, and then I transfer things back out of my MetaMask wallets, right? I'm not clicking on random links anymore. So I was told about a mint, but it was a wrong mint website. I didn't take time to go research it or do due diligence on it or make sure it was legit. I was just oh crap, I'm gonna miss another mint. I gotta move fast, right? I'm just in a reactive mindset. And it literally, and then number 3 here, I was on the wrong website, come to find out, right? I linked my wallet to the wrong website. And then lastly, here, confirm all information. I didn't do any one of these things, and it cost me dearly, right? If 12 grand, that was literally all the money, all the profit that we made that morning, gone the next day. So if this is one thing that you take away tonight, just remember these 4 things. Do not get in a hurry. As we explained tonight, as we walk you through minting processes, and as we walk you through creating portfolios and some of this stuff and trading accurately and profitably, keep in mind that protection of your assets should be your number 1 goal. That's why we planted this seed early on in tonight's presentation and training, because you have to be able to protect your assets, right? And keep you in the game longer, keep you trading and investing longer. So memorize these 4 things, get used to seeing these, because as we move into risk management and some of this other next step in mindset, keep this stuff in mind. Protect your assets first and foremost, and do not try to go that FOMO route, right? That Tyler talked about at the very beginning.
Yeah. And I'll just bring up, I had a friend, and it was, he lost 7.5 Ethereum, and it was a big loss, but, was able to get it back. So yeah, it just happens all the time. So the next one is, get rich quick, right? This is just people to get rich and things like that. Well, I will say people do get lucky, and people get, with the Bored Apes, we know about those. They got very lucky, let's say, right? It was a first project, those went good, but they had to have the mindset of holding, right? And a lot of the Bored Ape holders don't know how to navigate the NFT space because they got lucky, they did something. And so what I really want to talk about is a compounding mindset, to understand, hey, the NFT space, it's a really good way to make money quickly, but understanding your entry and exit points within a trade, and when you want to buy into a project and exit a project, is very key in this. And then also researching, and really understanding. Once you research and get comfortable with the project and listen to a lot of things, you're going to feel a lot better about what you're investing into. It's just like anything. If you go to a stock, if you go to, a cryptocurrency, you're going to look at the coin, and you're going to look at the company if you want to really be an investor in it, right? And so I think that's the biggest thing. And Valiant is really made up of compounding mindset, making more money, maybe quicker trades, but you're compounding that, and you know when to cut your losses. So that's really why I want to continue to think about it. And that's really my trading style. Yeah, there are some ways that there's some projects that I'll hold down the road, but a lot of them, 75% and 80% of the trades I'm doing are quick, and I'm trying to compound and make Ethereum, as much Ethereum as I can, and accumulate enough. And so, yeah, there are ways to get lucky. And, I think one of the days that if you do your own research, you'll be blessed to be able to do and know the compounding mindset, be blessed to be able to maybe have some of that wealth. So, yeah, let's go into the next one, right? You might have heard this. Well, we just need a lot of money. These Bored Apes are worth $300,000, $400,000. So we need more. We need money. We need a whole bunch of money to get started within the NFT space. Well, what I'm going to show you is how, if you're interested, how to use your time, and really start with a small account, right? And so when we look at things, and a lot of people really, really, really like to use the time if they don't have a lot of money, if they have a smaller account. And so here, some tips here is get on Twitter, because a lot of everything in the crypto space and the NFT space, it's all on Twitter. Nothing's on Facebook or LinkedIn. It's literally Twitter however everyone communicates. And then Discord. So those are two ways you can follow projects, and you can win spots and giveaways. So you might be able to get lucky, but there's ways that people do fan art, or write stories, or interact with their kids. I had a guy actually have his 12-year-old daughter write a story about a character that was in the project, right? And it was just a fun way for people to get on an allow list, right? And an allow list, what that means is you're able to go buy an NFT early, right? Without a big transaction fee. So the project will give you a window to be able to buy the NFT with smaller transactions. So you're kind of guaranteed that spot at that price if you want to buy it. And then the last one is a lot of projects and a lot of teams, they hold AMAs, and you can learn a lot about projects, and you can learn a lot about teams by just listening to them for an hour. Even if you pull up a recording and listen to it on 1.5 to 2 times sound, which will save you a lot of time if you all didn't know that. If you listen to it and get a little bit about it, AMA, yeah, ask me anything. And so even if you do that, right? Even if you do some of that, you will win an allow list. You'll win a spot within a product that you believe in, that you want to invest in. Then you can go mint it or buy it, and then you can go exit and have an exit strategy, right? That's one way to start with a small account and start compounding your Ethereum. And then another way is just getting into different types of projects. So let's look at the alternative markets that we have. And I don't know, some people who follow me on Facebook, I've talked about some of this already. So Top Shot, NBA Top Shot, a lot of people really got their start in NFTs within NBA Top Shot. And what those are is it's in the NBA. There's actually NFL coming out with one right now, and then UFC. So what they're doing is they're taking digital moments that are videos, and you'll be able to buy a pack for $10. You rip them open, you get a rare LeBron James. You're able to sell that on the marketplace, and it only costs you, the packs cost you $50, right? So you can compound your money that way. Vivi, right? We look at that, and that's digital collectibles for people who like comics, for people who like Disney collectibles, who like that stuff. You can go and win or buy a VV comic for less than $7, or right at $7, and then you can resell that for $21. Or you can buy a collectible for $60, and you can turn that around for $350. I actually had someone do that, right? And so this is really cool on how people can get started on a really, really low budget. And then there's 3 other ecosystems when we look at the crypto world, and it's Flow, which is Dapper Labs, which actually is what Top Shot was built up on. And they're starting to come out with more NFTs, right? Their NFTs, they just had one that was $250. Tezos, they're becoming a bigger name within the NFT space. And those NFTs are a very, very smaller price range too, maybe a couple $100s. And Solana, when we look at that, they've actually really done a good job. In the early days, Solana was really bad with a lot of scammers and a lot of people who just take people's money after the mint and not go forward with the project, right? but they have done a really good job to get those people out of there. And it's just another blockchain where you can go and you can learn about it and you can spend less money. So what I'm saying is that you don't have to do everything on Ethereum, right? And pay some of those fees. You can have alternative markets and have a strategy with how to compound that money and to go into other mints. So I'm going to take a break, or I'm not going to take a break. I'm going to take a step back, right? Because that's a lot of information. Those are 3 myths, Walden, and a lot of people come up to me with those objections and like why the NFT space is going to fail and everything like that. So I feel like we went through those, and I don't think those are a myth. I mean, what do you think, Walden?
I would agree. Like, so myth number 1, we already addressed that it's not too complicated. Like, and we're going to show you in the next module here on how to get started and how to like do it very simply. It's as simple as maybe like 5 steps to actually start trading, which we'll show you. And it's even simpler to mint something. So we'll show you that too. So it's not another fad because there's companies involved. Nike's, Gucci just did one, Adidas, like, and it's more than just fashion brands too. So now we're seeing banks and law firms and all kinds of people get invested and started into NFTs and the metaverse. So myth 1 for sure debunked. Myth 2, scam, get rich quick schemes. They are scams. It's not a myth, but there's so many ways to avoid them. There's so many things that you can do to not even be part of it. And you can use a compounding mindset so that you're not just out there with the lottery mindset of like, man, I'm going to go mint this, or I'm going to go create an NFT and be a millionaire tomorrow. Like, this isn't a get rich quick scheme. There are ways that you can enhance your like trading ability and like be part of these projects that launch. But for the most part, like Tyler said, it's a daily compounding mindset of like, I'm going to trade and I'm going to take some profit off of each trade and compound it into longer term wealth. And myth number 3 that we debunked tonight is it requires huge wallets. You just saw one where he really referenced a Disney collectible that you could buy for like $7 and turn around and sell for 21, or comic books, right? That's a very small wallet. There's also ways that you can get this stuff for free by joining those allow lists, by getting airdrops. And some of these terms I know you won't completely understand yet, and we won't have time to cover all the terms tonight, but there are ways to get involved with very little money, all the way down to no money at all. So like myth number 3, in my opinion, is also debunked. But Tyler, one of the things that I like love about you and the way that you simplify things, and the way that you can make this simple for everybody else. So like, if you have a few more moments, I want you to talk more about the easy way and just what you've put together as a way to basically start trading very easily.
Yep. So let's look at the results. So we saw earlier, right, when I started out the first month, right? And let's look at the results when I changed things within my strategy. When I started navigating the NFT space, started talking to more people, started figuring this stuff out, right? I wasn't on my own. So there's a lot more green within that chart, Walden.
I would say so. I even see some on there like 3,000%, 2,000%, hundreds of percent. Like that's a much different result than the negative 100% that we saw at the beginning of the hard way.
Right, exactly. So, but you still see some red. You'll see like 100%. But if you go back real quick,
yeah,
the easy way. So what did I do different? What were my results on this? What did I change within my plan from the first month? Right. Well, I found a community that shares information with people. And it was a community of 1,500 people, right? And I was able to talk to people and understand the space a little bit better. I made friends within that community that outbranched to other communities and that invited me because they liked my analysis, they liked my information I was giving them. So they really, you know, that was a number one game changer for me, was joining a community and trading with those communities and the like-minded. I think the second biggest change I made was I really started researching projects and understanding what these businesses are looking at. And instead of looking at it just like a project, I started looking at these projects as businesses and investments, right? So what is this business giving me? And what, as an investor, what value am I getting back? And if this is something I'm okay holding, this is something that I'm okay with adding value and holding for a longer time, because I'm going to see the value out of it. So, and then that next thing will then lead you to conviction on the project that you're buying. So the result of that, which Walden already spoiled it, but we can go to the next one.
So the result of you making your annual bonus of the night.
Yeah. So what happened here? I love the story. It's a funny story. You know, you got to remember the context that we're doing. I've got two girls at home. Sloan at this time, I think it's October. So, it's like late September. So she's like 3 months old. And so what I did was I was able to join a community called Metaverse HQ, and that community costs right now 3 Ethereum to get into, so $9,000. So I was able to access that community, right? And what I found was there was a project called Galactic Apes coming out, and they had a previous collection that I was able to go and research. I was able to go find information about the team, and at that time, that first project, the first collection, was holding a price of about 20 Ethereum. That's a lot of money, and I was like, hey, if it can only do like a quarter of that, like I'm okay with that. Like I didn't see much downside to that. So I knew like the downside of that, to know about the first collection, there was less downside for me to be, and then more upside for then me to have more conviction to buy. So I got all this research. I learned more about this project. I was able to talk to people about it, and like it was so much fun. And then like there's this thing called stealth launches, which I was like, this is my first stealth launch. Like, all right, like they're like, well, it can launch at any time. So I'm literally on the computer at like 8 p.m. just researching and stuff until like 2 a.m. and still not out. I'm like, what the heck? And all of a sudden they launch everything. I'm ready to mint. I'm ready to do my thing. And I lose out on it because I didn't know what I was doing on like some transaction fees and stuff like that to simplify it. But what I was able to do, because I had so much conviction on the project, and I knew I wanted to get into it because I knew it was going to blow up, is that I actually went and bought off secondary. I bought 9 of these things off secondary. I still hold this one that you see. I'll never get rid of this one just for the memories. But I was able to then turn those into, so on the number on the left is 9.181 Ethereum. That is my profit number. And then the percentage that is a return on percentage, so 71%, roughly over $27,000, right? And that was over my annual bonus from working at my previous employer. Now, I didn't quit my job the next day. What I wanted to do is understand, like, okay, I did my research. I understood like what I wanted to buy the project for. And like, I knew when I wanted to kind of get out of it, like I knew that stuff and I knew what I was like trying to do. So if I could repeat those results, then I knew that I can then quit my job and feed my family and do this full time. So,
well, I know a lot of people that they would, if they knew they could make 27K, and you can drop it in the chat right now if you're one of those people, but like if you did spend a month researching and you only made one trade, made 27K, like would that be a good month? I think so. Like what if you could do that every week, right? There's people out there that 27K might be more than some people make an entire year. And that's crazy to think about. But what if you did take that time to not isolate yourself, to join groups, to educate yourself on some of these projects, figure out the movers and shakers, and spend some time doing that? And that's where that compounding mindset of like just learning and adding on blocks of knowledge and kind of understanding really comes from. But like, I mean, I would spend a few hours researching if I knew I was going to make 27K from it, right? Like that's incredible results. That's a really cool story. So.
Yeah. And like, I mean, like this morning, right? I spent a couple hours and I made 1 Ethereum off, some simple trades just because I knew what I was doing. And like,
those are 3K, stuff that like 3K, just like that. A couple hours, $3,000,
Yeah. So it's just, like just repeating those results. And I've been able to, so I quit my job. So people don't know, I quit my job actually end of October, and I've been able to support my family now since from November to now, and not really changed very much. And my wife stays at home. So it's been such a blessing. So why don't we go over the steps that I kind of work through and kind of show like what those look like. So, okay, cool. So here's kind of how I simplify like what I do, like, so people don't get like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to go and whatever. So in my opinion, you find a project that's coming out that you really like, that you want to do something with, and that you want to buy. So you research it, right? You do your own research. You look at the project, you look at the teams, you look at previous projects that he worked on, you look at the art, it's like there's so much stuff to research within this. You look at what they're going to give you back as value. Like it's just a lot to take in, which you could spend a week or two on just one project, right? I can, I always say, I should say, I don't want to steal this, but Gary Vee, he says you need to spend at least 2 hours to research a project before you should even think about investing into it. And so I believe in that. I can analyze a project with it pretty quickly now, but something I want to spend a lot of money on, it's going to take me about 2 to 3, 4 hours to really look at it. So that's a first step, is really researching the project. The second step is figuring out what your entry and exits are, right? So you're going to know what your entry is, because you're going to know what the project's going to cost through your research. And then you're going to say, hey, I want to 3x my money on that. So then you're going to be able to calculate your exit off that and be able to then go into that trade and make it and say, well, heck, if I might be able to afford 2 of these. And then you could probably sell one to maybe get half your money back, keep another one, and see what the project does, see what the movement is. Those are just some strategies that we're going to teach you. And then the third one is I get ready. So I get my entries, I exits, I get ready, I get my wallets ready. If I'm going to go on Ethereum, I get my MetaMask ready. If I'm going on Solana, I get my Phantom wallet ready. And I make sure I have the right amount in, I know what I'm doing. And then I go and I purchase the NFT, whether that I mint that. When we talk about mint, we're actually buying that from the creators of the project, or we could go purchase it on the secondary market if we really like the project and we feel like it's in a down market. So we go and we purchase the NFT. And then the fifth step is just you either hold it, right? If you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to hold this for a week, a month, because I feel like I have very good conviction on it. It's going to maybe 10x or 15x in a month. And I can then hold that, go to my day job, or go have fun with my kids, come back to it, and then see what it does, right? Or you could list it and say, hey, I'm going to get 3x my money back. I can list it, walk away, and get an email when it sells. So that's really things. I mean, yes, you can spend a lot of time in front of the computer, but you don't have to. I do just because I'm a neighbor. This is my job. This is what I do every day, right? And I want to make sure that I have that research. I want to have that edge on top of people, and I bring that information to everyone here, right? I want to bring my time into here so it makes it easy for you. And so then step 6 is just rinse and repeat: research, entry, exits, crypto. Like, make sure like that's how simple it is. I know sometimes it feels very overwhelming and things you don't know where to go. But if you have someone with you and on your side, I think it makes it way easier to look at this stuff.
And for each step, there is tools.
Sorry.
No, you're good. There is tools and resources for each step. I mean, overall, this is a six-step guide to basically creating your portfolio or your collection. But step 1 being research, you can use the Googles, you can use Facebook, you can use Twitter and Discord, and join groups where NFT is the buzzword. That is, Reddit groups, all kinds of places that you can start getting research and getting bombarded by trends, right? Like I'm ashamed about how many people out there on Discord that just cold message me all day, every day, just like with all these projects that are coming up, because they know that we're in the sector of NFTs. Right. So we see constant like bombardment of like projects and things to research. And like I'm a simple guy. You guys know this about me for the most part. Like I'll just get on Google and go find the company's website and start researching them. But step 2, entry and exits, like that's where Tom's a genius on creating trade plans and stuff like that. And most people like have gone through one of our courses or have been exposed to Tom and like how to identify your entries and exits and your risk management and your mindset around the trade that you're in. So it's really important to document that stuff, which you can do that on paper. You can do that in an Excel spreadsheet. You can do that on your phone. Like there's softwares out there that also help you trade. Like that can be as easy or as complex as you want to make it. It's up to you. And then step 3, like Tyler said, like the crypto wallets, like I have my own Coinbase wallet that I have filled with crypto and different currencies. But then, as he said, the 2 main wallets that most people use are going to be MetaMask and it's Phantom, right? Phantom wallets for Solana.
Yeah, that's just for example. Yep.
Yeah, so like those are kind of the 2 main ones, and they're literally browser extensions on your computer or an app on your phone. And when I get ready to trade in there, I transfer money from my Coinbase wallet in whatever currency I need to go into those other two wallets. So if I'm going to transfer and go trade Solana NFTs, I need Solana. So I'll take Solana out of my Coinbase wallet and send it to my Phantom wallet. Or if I'm going to trade Ethereum or maybe go to OpenSea or something like that, or mint it, and I need Ethereum, great, I'll send Ethereum from my Coinbase wallet to my MetaMask wallet. And now it's in there and it's tradable. So step 4, purchasing or minting. That's where you want to spend your more additional time doing research and due diligence on the link that you're about to click, because this is where things could go wrong for you. So step 4, being able to purchase. If you're on a website and you're minting, you're going to have to connect your wallet to it. And that's where, if you don't read the contract and what you're giving it approval to do, that's where you could come into some issues. Whereas if everything checks out, you link your wallet to it, you hit mint, now the money goes to them, goes to their wallet. In exchange, you get the NFT. That's the transaction that happens, and it gets stored in your wallet. At any time now in step 5, you can hold or list that. So you can take that NFT from your MetaMask wallet or your Phantom wallet or whatever wallet you're using. There's bazillions of them out there, and transfer it to a marketplace like OpenSea. And OpenSea is an online marketplace where you can buy, sell, auction, trade, all kinds of stuff, all NFTs. So step 5, get it listed there. You either can hold it in your wallet, in your cold wallet, keep it to yourself, hold it forever, like Tyler and his green ape that you just saw, that he's going to hold for nostalgia purposes for the rest of his life. Or you can get it listed on one of these platforms to sell. Like you can bundle NFTs together to sell. You can list it as an auction, so highest price takes it. You can set your floor prices where you want to list it, but it doesn't have to be hard. It's very easy because your wallets are connected to that OpenSea website. So you can move your things around easily. And that's where it doesn't have to be complex. And then the more you do this, step 6, rinse and repeat, it gets faster, it gets quicker. But at the same time, have that in mind that you don't want to be just moving too fast and click the wrong button. So rinse and repeat, yes, but don't do it just out of automation. So, Tyler, since we're coming up towards the end of the training here, let's talk a little bit about the minting process and taking people that are super creative or even people that aren't. Because when you brought up Gary Vee earlier, I was like, the V Friends NFTs, it looks like a 3-year-old sat down with crayons and was drawing an elephant, and that's the NFT that people are buying for $9,000 now, right? So you don't have to be super creative to do this, but if you are, you can come up with very customizable, very cool stuff. Even behind me down here, there's an NFT that an artist did. And that's how he's linking things. So when you buy the art, you get an NFT, and that's your certificate of authenticity. So now I have the physical art hanging behind me on the wall, and I have the digital certificate as an NFT. Now I can go sell the NFT if I want. And he's a very well-known artist in the space, and he does very creative things. So I know some of the people that filled out their survey had it into tonight. That's one of their number one things is hey, I'm a photographer, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a video producer. Anything in a digital world that you've created, videos, 3D stuff, images, can all be turned into an NFT. So you can take your art and turn it into money. So Tyler, if somebody was a super creative person, or not even, I'm half tempted to have my daughters all sit down and just start drawing pictures, and I'll just start scanning them into NFTs, right? So you don't have to be uber creative, but what's that process like?
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing, is that you can take physical art. So I actually know someone who, she actually does physical art, and she scans it in on a scanner and then creates digital art out of it. So she takes her physical art, she still has her physical prints, but she scans those in and then sells those. So it's really easy to do that. And OpenSea is your friend. And like Walden said, OpenSea is a marketplace. So what do you do there? I mean, this literally will take an hour or 2 of your time to be able to do, but you'll be able to go there and you'll be able to create your collection. So what the collection is what you're going to call it. So it's your first collection. You could call it your Genesis collection, right? And you can create that in a folder, and then edit the title under to say, hey, this is my Genesis collection, blah, 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 blah. And then you then start uploading your NFTs, your physical, your digital art. And so you can edit those, you can name those 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever you want to do. You can change however you want to do it. And then you can add traits to it. So if you want to add a yellow trait to it, or a gradient trait, or a border trait, you can do that, which is called metadata. And metadata is talking to you about what the rarities are. Remember Pokemon, remember the Jordan card, right? Those are your rarities. That's the metadata within your NFTs. And then once you're satisfied with that, you literally go, you can set, oh, and the next thing I forgot to mention is you do set your own royalties. So as an artist, the benefit for an NFT is you don't have a middle person. You don't have an auction house. You don't have to pay the festival, right? I mean, you have to pay OpenSea because we're using their source, but you then get to collect those royalties. And so then you get to set the royalties anywhere from 2.5% to 20%, whatever you want to put them at. But then you list them for sale, or if you want to do an auction where people come and, you know, buy them on a decreasing auction or things like that, you do that. And then the next thing you do is you market your project. I mean, I would probably put market your project up there before you like start doing this, but I think if you have it for sale, you got to do some marketing, because if you're just saying, hey, I'm just an artist, right? And people just don't know about you. And so, you know, using the Twitter, using the socials, the things like that, you got to market yourself within the space, because the more people that like your art, like your artwork, you could get picked up by projects and things like that. So it just could be creating your own revenue, right? And so it's just a way to even start an online business to start that. So I think it's really cool that NFTs are giving artists and are giving people the sense of independence and creating what they want based on feelings, based on what their fans or what people like about them. So that is one way. If you are artistic, I'm not artistic. I draw stick people all the time, right? And I draw cactuses, and they look like pine trees. And so, so yeah, that is one way that artists can make money in the space, and I've seen it happen. So.
On the royalty side, for those of you that are artists that are going to go to your mints, that royalty is paid every time it transacts. And there's a really cool story that if you go to Google, you can search it, but there's a NFT that a firm out of New York City developed. And like it was a higher ticket NFT, one that started out like multiple six figures back when it was like unheard of to have a 6-figure NFT. And basically they had a 10% royalty assigned to that NFT. And so that every time that transacted, they were making 10% of that transaction fee back to them to create it. So you got to think, like, now it's traded hands a dozen times. That NFT is now selling it's $300,000 or $400,000 was the last like sell. So that artist on this last sell of that NFT made 30 to 40 grand, and they did absolutely nothing except for create it, the initial design, the initial unique digital art, right? So like it's crazy. So like when you start to really think about artists out there that are struggling to sell like a canvas print like you see behind me, like they don't have the market behind it. They don't have the ability to go out and like every time I want to sell that piece of art, I get all the money. That artist, they're done. They got their money, they got their commission, they're done after that first time. This is a way for now artists to go on and make money for the rest of their life on the things that they create. And there's no limitations, no boundaries on what you can create. Just super cool. So Tyler, bring us home here. Let's cover this last slide here about how people can succeed.
Yeah, so let me ask you, so we went through a lot tonight. Let me ask you, if you could be successful, if you were part of a like-minded community that gave you information and how to research projects, right? And showed you how to protect your assets and be safe within the NFT space, do you feel like you could get started and learn the space, even though you might not have a large wallet, you might not have a large lot to invest? Could you feel like you could succeed if you had all that information at your fingertips, if you had that community, if you had that information? So let me ask you, in the chat? If so, type LFG in the chat. And then I'm going to start using NFT words. LFG in the chat. And that means let's freaking go.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
Tyler, you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
That looks like me in August. So I know we went through a lot tonight. Let me ask you a question. This is just going to be a rhetorical question, right? Are you excited about what you learned tonight? Did you feel like you got a lot out of this? Do you feel like you learned about the NFT space, right? Just think about that. What did you take away from tonight? And then I know we went through a lot of information. We spent more time than I thought we would, right? Walt and I went over a little bit. But are you a little confused still? Do you have more questions, right? Walt and I are going to stay on for as long as we can to answer your questions. If you're still confused, if you need us to, talk about something again. So I'm going to ask you one more question, right? Is it okay if Walden, my good friend Walden, shares some information with you, shares a special offer with you, shares just that information of what I learned? And if that's okay to share that with you, type yes in the chat.
Cool. All right, guys.
Hold on, it's not
I saw yeses. I saw yeses.
There they. Hey, I'm on very, very low internet.
What cracks me up, guys, and like before I do share what we're gonna talk about here with the masterclass offer and a digital course, like some people think like, oh, Tyler, he must like be tied directly into the matrix and have all this stuff going for him and be like some super special God's gift to earth like guy that has all these tools and resources. And I laugh and joke around about it because he is smart, he is very wise, but he lives in a very rural area in the middle of nowhere, and he's trading on. We did a speed test right before we got on tonight. His internet was at 5 megabytes per second download at the peak. So like, it's not like he's sitting there like trading like crazy, and his upload speed was like 0.00 like megabytes. Like it was like non-existent. And I was like, Tyler, how are you going to do a video training for hundreds, if not thousands of people if we don't even have the ability to upload video? So like, it's not about the tech or the tools or the resources or some special gift that Tyler has. Like literally, you could be trading in the middle of a field, like I was referencing earlier, like the NFT gamers and stuff that are trading in third world countries with limited access to internet, but they're still providing for their families. So tonight, like what I'm about to show you and explain what is going to come with this masterclass NFT course that we're going to run, like keep that in mind. You don't have to be like some special set apart guy. Like it doesn't take some like silver spoon that gets you to where you need to be. All we require as we start to explain this stuff is an open mind and willingness to learn and be teachable, right? Like your mind is like a parachute. It only works if it's open. So as we start to explain this, it's going to be a 4-week live class. This isn't going to be recorded. I hate, like, I don't like recording courses. Like I want to be live because I like the interaction and the engagement. These classes are going to start next week. They're going to be 4 live Zoom trainings. Things that we're going to cover in these trainings. We're going to do more of an introduction, so you will get some education there. But we're going to really dive in and explain the researching behind the projects and which finding projects to invest into. We're going to go through live examples with screen share on how to buy and mint and the processes behind that. And there is an exclusive bonus at the very, very end, and I'll give you details about that at the end. But like when it comes to the minting process, we're going to go through advanced trading strategies and stuff that Tyler and I have both, and even Tom, have created that are proprietary to us that we use to get results. We're going to do the module on risk management and how not to lose your money. So how to identify those scams and frauds and how to avoid that stuff. And then jumping into handling unique circumstances and special situations. So covering those special words that Tyler was talking about tonight. But with those live courses, you're going to be able to do a few things. So you're going to understand the jargon. So when Tyler says something, or you're on a Discord server or in an alpha group, some people might not even know what an alpha group is, right? So like you'll be understanding the jargon after we get through these 4 weeks. You're going to be able to find the right assets to trade. And if that overwhelms you at all, like the key thing about a live course is now we're right there with you, so we can help you find the right assets to trade. We can help you identify these patterns. But by the end of this course, we want you to be able to do these things by yourself successfully while knowing we have your back. We're here to hold you accountable, but we want to make you successful. This is a lifetime access course. So it's something that once it's created and it's live, we'll always have it. And as you come through it, you'll always have access to the recordings. We value this at $3,594. Stay on, do not get sticker shock, please, please, please. Like, well, like this is not the price, but that's what we value them at moving forward. After each session, just like tonight, we'll do a live Q&A session. We want to make sure that you get all of your questions answered. And after each class, it'll be open-ended. We'll stay on for as long as you want. Just like Tom and I did for the crypto growth class, just like we've done with our stock classes and our business classes, like we stay on. We want to make sure you get every single question answered. And we're going to provide direction to your current situations, and you're going to have the ability to learn from others in the group. So we value that at $24.97. So if you're keeping score, the total value is $6,091. Lifetime access, like I said earlier, includes the actual Q&A sessions also. So this is all on-demand stuff, but now you can go back and always have this. Your future self is going to thank you. This is something that you could will or pass on to the next generation. This is something that forever you will have access to. I have students going back through our stock course that we filmed like over a year ago, and they're just now coming back to it now because they're in a different point of life. So like there's huge value in the lifetime access side of things, but we are going to sell the recordings moving forward at $1,500. So we do sign a value of $1,497 on those, bringing the total value of everything to $7,588. You might ask, what else do you need? And people love watch lists. We've created our own curated watch list. Most people are on with me on Sunday nights with weekly winners. We go through and identify crypto projects and stock projects and all these things that you can invest into. But now bringing Tyler onto the mix, he's bringing NFT project analysis into those watch lists. So now we have the projects to watch every single week, right? We have in-depth details on what to trade and how to trade it. And it's kind of across the board, because what you're starting to see is how the metaverse is not just crypto. It's not just NFTs. We see these big publicly traded companies getting into these other areas. So if you know that Adidas is a bad example, but if you know that one of these bigger companies like a JP Morgan Chase or a Coca-Cola or somebody is getting into the NFT space, as soon as that news breaks, what happens to that stock price, right? So all this stuff's kind of interlinked. So our watch lists cover most investable classes. That right now we have a value on it, and we've sold it for on the upwards of $2,000 previously, but we're going to include it in the course for over the next 30 days. So what about that supported analysis? What about that community that Tyler was talking about? You're gonna have access to us on Telegram, Discord, email, and Valiant actually has a mobile app. Our mobile app for Android and iOS gives you the ability to literally pull out your phone at any given time and message us, right? Like, how cool is that? I mean, like most times you sign up for a course or you're going through a recorded course, do you have access to the instructors? The answer is more than likely no, let alone live access and live instructions. So we'll use these platforms to communicate with you weekly moving forward to make sure that we can hold you accountable, but provide priority support to you to make sure that you get all your questions answered and solve any problems that you might have. We analyze that, and Tyler, Tom, and I all put our different values here, but I value it at about $1,300 a month as far as priority support goes, but that'll be included also in this. You might think there's one last thing that you might need, and Tyler hit on it all night, but it's community. So for the next month, we're going to welcome you into our premium group community. And that is valued at almost $1,200 for a light or for a year, but we're going to give you private group access for the next month. And that's going to be included in here. These premium groups and these private groups are where we're going to build community. These are our Sunday night calls, our Connect the Dots calls, all these other calls that we run every single week that we hit on very early tonight that you're going to have access to. So that brings the value up of everything tonight to over $12,000. But you're going to think like you're crazy by doing this, but I am going to bonus everybody in case you've never gone through our crypto course. And by the way, if you have, and you sign up tonight and you have gone through the Crypto Growth Accelerator, and instead you want to take our stock course or something else, I'm happy to swap it out if you've taken Uncensored Crypto's Crypto Growth Accelerator. But we're going to bonus that to you tonight. If you sign up tonight, you'll get this as a bonus. It's a $1,500 value all day, every day. It's 6 recordings with over 16 hours of trading content from Tom and I on how to trade crypto successfully and accelerate your results. In there, we also talk about all kinds of tools and resources that you get that you'll have access to through trading plans and journals and all this good stuff. And these resources are audios and PDFs and digital things that you can access wherever you're at. You can download them, you can have them for life, but all that stuff's included in the Crypto Growth Accelerator bonus. So if you add it all up, it's 4 live Zoom trainings, 3,594, 4 live Q&A sessions, 2,594, lifetime access to trainings, 1,497, access to curated watch list, 1,897, support and analysis, 1,295, private groups, 1,176, and the bonus CGA course is almost $1,500. So the total value of everything in this package is just over $13,000. So I ask you a question now. What if all this did was create and help you create an autonomous income that you can basically trade from anywhere and not be reliant on a day-to-day job? Would it be worth it if this course could do all that? What if this gave you the freedom and flexibility like Tyler to step away from his corporate job and spend it raising his kids, spending it with his wife, living a freedom lifestyle, designing the life that you want? Would this course be worth it? The answer is yes. And what if this did create wealth so that you could serve whatever and basically do whatever you wanted, right? Pursue your God-given assignment. There's people on this call right now that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to go off and be an artist, but they're always told like, oh, don't be an artist because you're never going to make money. So what if this did give you that ability to go do that? Would this course be worth it? So tonight you have 2 options, or 2 choices, I guess. First option is you can continue to set away your small percentage of money and continue to hope that the markets treat you well. You can give it to Edward Jones, you could give it to Merrill Lynch, you could trade crypto in your own little wallet, and basically hope and pray that they treat you well and you don't run out of money, because the gist of it is that 98% of the population is going to be dead or dead broke by the age of 65. That's a true stat. You're either going to be living off of basically what you have until that age, but then becoming reliant on somebody. Or the second option is you can take a leap. It requires a little bit more dedication, a little bit more discipline, but we can help you develop a skill that is going to allow you to make money and allow you to provide finances in any economic environment. I like second options, but so what's this skill actually worth to you? That's what I was talking about earlier with Tyler, like being able to basically dedicate a little bit of time to research and make 27K. What if this gave you that skill set to go make $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month or even more? How much would you pay to learn a skill that would teach you that for the rest of your life? And some people even look at me and they're like, yeah, but we're not you. We can't trade successfully. We can't do all this stuff. And yes, it's true. I have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in just a few years by trading. But what if you failed me by 90%? 90% is still a hell of a big number, right? That's still making 50 grand. Would you pay 20 grand to profit 50? I mean, I know people that not only would they pay 50 grand to make 50 grand, I know businesses that have been started and invested and put millions of dollars towards starting a business, and they don't even make money for the first couple of years. So like, you have to sit here and think through this. This is a skill that you can rinse and repeat and use for the rest of your life. So of course, it would be worth it to pay 20 grand or even more to be able to profit like this. That's why it is a good deal at 20 grand, but we're not going to charge that. That'd be crazy talk. We are going to charge $3,500 for the future general public. And that's where we're headed. That's how we've sold our last courses. We'll film them live. In the future, we'll sell the recordings and all this stuff and all the bonuses for close to $3,500. But because this is a live course and you're going to be joining us, you're going to be an early adopter, you're going to be on with us live and helping us create the content and ask the questions and be with us as we generate and create this course, we're going to get everybody started at $14.97 today. You can get started now by visiting valianttrader.com/NFT. And on that page, it's going to detail everything that I just listed out, and it's going to get you started. But because you're on live tonight, and because this is an inaugural thing, we are going to do an action taker bonus. So that if you get started before April 11th, which is Monday, for everybody that owns a calendar, Monday at midnight, not 12:01, not 12:02, but midnight Central Standard Time. I'm in Chicago. So at midnight on April 1st, if you get in before then, it'll be $1,000.
April 11th, not April 1st.
April 11th, sorry, April 11th, right?
April Fools are late, right?
Yeah, April Fools. No, by April 11th at midnight, it'll be $1,000, and we can get started now by visiting valianttrader.com/NFT. I believe Tom's going to drop the link in the chat, but this will allow you to make two choices tonight. First option is do nothing. Do not take this leap of faith. But you think to yourself, yeah, I could take the knowledge learned tonight and I could just go do this myself. It's 100% risk-free by not taking this course. I don't have to take action. I don't have to do this. I learned enough tonight and I can just go do it. But you're now going back into what Tyler said. You're isolating yourself. You're doing things alone. You're not taking the full advantage of everything we talked about tonight. Second option tonight is you pony up a small investment. Compared to all the value that you're going to get, the $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 worth of value that we're going to bring to you over the next month, and you get started. You create a new income stream. You get moving. To get moving, you go to valianttrader.com/NFT. It's pretty simple. So just to recap what you're going to get in this package, it's 4 live Zoom trainings, Q&A sessions that are open-ended after to make sure every single question that you could possibly have gets answered. Lifetime access to all the recordings and everything that happens. Access to curated NFT watch list, crypto watch list, stock watch list, everything there. Priority support and analysis through the platforms like Telegram, Discord, email, the mobile app. Private groups and premium groups for additional questions to be answered and accountability and knowledge and education. And you're going to get that Crypto Growth Accelerator course that we just got done filming that students are already getting insane results with. Like I had a guy literally say, since going through that course, I've been making 20% ROI every single month without even having to sit in front of my computer 24/7. Like most people don't make 20% ROI on their investments over the whole year if they have it with a traditional investment. And this guy's making it every single month since coming through that course. So the total value of everything, if you add it all up, is $13,550. Like I said, if you get started now, before midnight on April 11th, being Monday, it'll be $1,000 at checkout. So go through it. And I do want to preface 2 things while we still have the majority of people on here. As you're going through the checkout process, there's a super secret special bonus as one of the options. And I want Tyler to talk a little bit about it, but Valiant is going to do our own NFT mint, and the people that purchase and get started with this course, they are going to be the first 500 people that have access to our NFT collection. We're only minting 500 NFTs, but by minting one of them, Tyler, what are some of the things that are included with that Valiant mint?
Yep. So what you're going to see is that I am personally, so what I've done really well within the space is analysis, project research, give people early information. If I see an allow list that's easy to get, I give that access to people. So what I want is this NFT, right, to act as your membership to that Discord. So right now, to get into some of these alpha communities and these groups, right, you're going to find $10,000, $12,000. But I want to create something of our own, something in Valiant, something that people start saying, well, what are they doing? How are they getting all their information? So what I'm going to provide, what we're going to do is I want to go live at least once a week for an hour with you, talk about a project. You can see me live mint, whatever you want to look at, see me a live trade. So I'm going to spend that hour within that Discord, within that community with you. And the community is going to be within the Discord community. That's where we need to get knowledgeable. It's where we need to understand how to use that, right? I'm going to be able to share project analysis with you. Well, at least one a week, you're going to get an in-depth project analysis with me that I write up. They're about 2 pages and explains why I like the project and what the red flags are, and really just helps you research the project better. And then what else you're going to get is it is losing me right now, Walden. So
so the Valiant Mint, guys, just to keep it very simple, it's more of everything that's already included in the course and the package, but it's in perpetuity. So it's ongoing. So as long as you have that NFT mint, you'll be part of our alpha groups. As we grow that group to thousands of members that are all talking NFTs and projects, and we're verifying things, like, you'll have access to that group. And as Tyler said earlier, some of these groups that we're part of, they can cost on the upwards of $9,000, $10,000, $15,000. And it's because we're part of those groups, we can accumulate knowledge there and bring it back to our own alpha group so that we're filtering it through things that we are actually signing off on, instead of leaving it up to chance and leaving it up to people to go out and do their own thing. So like, one of the things that you will see in the checkout process is the ability to purchase early a Valiant mint. And I do want to preface this by saying, when we mint these in the future, so anything that we don't sell up to 500, like, we will open that up to a public mint, and we will be selling those for about $2,500 a piece. Tonight, like, when you go through that shopping cart, they're discounted down to $19.97, but that's perpetuity. And what else you learned tonight is that you can always sell that NFT. So you go into it, you can always take that risk off the table, or that risk mindset, and say, yeah, it was great. Like, I used it. I was part of the Discord, but maybe things just didn't work out. Maybe I'm not trading NFTs anymore. I'm going to go sell it. So now you just sold your token to access our Discord channels and our alpha groups, right? But like, it's ways for you to now trade and invest. So when you think about that, if I knew that I could put $2,000 towards something, go make money while doing this, but then get to the point where, like, maybe you don't need to be part of the alpha groups anymore with it. I think that'd be crazy talk, but maybe it's one of those things where you just say, man, it's been awesome, but I'm done. Okay, great. I'm going to go sell it now. Right? That's how cool NFTs are. They provide utility to things. And that's a word that I throw around a lot when I talk about NFTs, because I like to invest into projects that have utility. And utility means it provides some sort of functionality above and beyond just being valuable. So when I say our Valiant NFTs will have utility, it's because we can use them as login tokens and verification tokens that the people in our groups have to have that token in their wallet. Their wallet's linked to us, and if that token's not there, they're not there. So our tokens will have that utility. And like, we are also evolving our website and our app so that NFTs will be able to unlock special areas of our website where there will be additional trainings and stuff like that in the future. So like, premium areas of our website that basically are linked to these NFTs. So I did want to disclose that because as you are signing up for that class tonight, as you are going through that sales checkout page, you will see an offer for this, for the NFT mint. And it's super valuable. It's super exclusive. As I said at the beginning of the call, there was almost 2,000 people that signed up to be here tonight. For whatever reason, like we had what we had, but that means that the first few hundred people that were on with us live tonight are going to have the first access to buying one of those 500 NFTs. And that's what's crazy about this is there's thousands of people now that potentially could come through and buy an NFT, and they don't have to sell it. They could hold it. Like Tyler said, he could hold that green galactic ape for life. Like he could pass it on to his daughters in the future, right? Same thing here with this NFT token. You can hold it for as long as you want. You can access to all of our stuff for as long as you want. And if you're ever done with it, then sell it. But it's a great, great opportunity to be one of the first 500 purchasers or allow list members to have this NFT when we mint it here in a couple of weeks. So, Tom, I know you're on. Do you have your camera? Can you help facilitate Q&A and start kind of just throwing questions that were from the chat back towards Tyler and I so we can get them answered? Maybe you're muted. Do I need to unmute you? Okay, you're good. I got you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, so just to confirm, when does this class start?
Wednesday the 13th.
Okay.
So it'll be next Wednesday. We'll start, and it will be every Wednesday. Compared to previous courses, like you'll get a calendar invite. It'll be on your calendar every Wednesday. They are all recorded, of course. The educational piece of each course will be probably right around an hour, and then we'll jump into the screen share and walkthrough. So it will be a little bit of a time commitment, but we want to make sure that you are 100% educated on anything and everything NFTs and how to do things. So like that's where the valuableness of technology comes in, because now the back half of the class, we screen share, we walk you through things. Tyler can literally show you how to set up your extensions, how to link your wallets, how to transfer things, how to mint things. Like all this stuff will be live screen share. So the first part of each course, like I said, slideshow, a little bit of education, familiarity with concepts, building blocks. Back half of the training will be live screen share, followed by live Q&A.
Awesome. So just kind of run through some of these questions in the chat. As far as like joining other like NFT communities, and maybe this is for you, Tyler, what's the best way to like source those or find those to start joining those communities?
Yeah, like I said, it's always good with Twitter, right? You can find, if you like type in NFT or crypto or NFT communities, usually if you use some hashtags and type in Twitter and type in some keywords, it's really easy to find those. There's some free servers out there on Discord that you can look for, you can find, and really everything's linked to Twitter and Discord. So I would really, if you're interested, I would really start getting familiar with Twitter and start keying in those keywords like NFT community, and then see what pops up and really start researching and stuff that way.
Cool. And just to verify it's on that first question, verify the time is Central and it's 7 o'clock, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. Seeing some of the first orders coming through. That's super cool. Awesome. Congrats, Mary and Mark and John. Man, there's a lot of emails coming through. That's cool. That's awesome, guys. I appreciate the support, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys that are signing up right now. So, all right, Tom, other questions?
Yeah, I'm kind of working through just what was coming through during the presentation. So one question, this is kind of posting something to OpenSea. If you, Manuel's asking, if you have old comics, how can I make them into NFTs and market it on OpenSea?
Yeah, you got to be really careful if like the comics, right? Because if it's like a DC comic or something, like you're not the creator of those comics, right? So when I'm talking about Marvel and DC, like Vivi does own like some IP rights. You got to be really careful. Like you can't just like scan in what you have, because that's not what you own, right? That's a comic that that you bought, and it's it's number like 205 of 20,000, right? So you got to be really careful that you don't want to get yourself in a situation like that. So I would double check to see, I wouldn't do it myself, just because I think you get infringement by copyright, things like that, because it's not your own art. Does that make sense?
Yep. And make sure you're a creator, right? So you create, and that's the important distinction about these, because yes, KYC is a real thing, and most platforms are going to know your customer, and they will know you in most cases. So if you start uploading stuff that doesn't belong to you, like, it won't be hard for you to start to gain some negative traction with that. So you do want to make sure that you're creating things, but that's what makes things valuable. That's what provides that next level of rarity, is when you create something one-off. And I used the example earlier of Gary Vee stuff that was like, they're crap, guys. You guys can pull them up. You can go Google search them. They literally are stick figure drawings or worse. But that's what makes them rare and unique, is it's a whole collection of these crappy napkin drawings, right? It's like, that's how I've heard them like talked about or referenced, is like some kid or some guy was sitting at the bar with a napkin and just started doodling, and those became NFTs worth $10,000. They're unique, and they're tied back to him. He created them. So like, when it comes to minting your NFTs, pick up a camera, go take a photograph of something that only you have, or however you want to see that, right? Maybe it's a picture of you holding the comic book, right? Like, that could be rare and unique, where it's actually you holding it. That could be an NFT. But like, you want to make it rare, unique, and something like to you, something that you create, not somebody else. So maybe I need to start doing that with all my old football cards. I'll just take a picture with the football card and start selling all those.
Right. So we have some questions about the Discord server for Valiant. Can you go a little bit more detail into that, as far as what's available, as far as just for free,
so
what's available for those who purchase?
Two areas of the Discord server. The first, we are going to have a lot of communication on Discord that will be public. So you can join the server and be part of that. The Valiant Mint is going to give you access to private areas of the Discord server. So like, there's going to be two different areas of Discord. Tyler, do you want to talk about some of the features of each of those areas that you're building out?
Let's say, because I'm building out the server right now, and it'll be ready here shortly. So when you take the course, right, and we start building community within this course, we want to make sure people can post questions during the week and start talking to people about troubles that they're having, or they feel down, or successes that they have. So we'll have that in the general area, right? And where I'll post some projects I'm watching for the week, right? Just so you guys have some advantages to be able to research on, so you're not kind of figuring out like, hey, I don't know where to look and stuff like that. So I want to provide that for you, and things that I'm looking at. But in like the mint section, right, the tokenized section where the mint is, that's where I'm going to be sharing in-depth analysis from, right? That's where I'm going to be sharing and going live into a chat and explaining, hey, here's what I'm looking at, here's why I think it's possibly a good entry, and things like that. I mean, again, this is not financial advice. It's just things that I'm doing live with you, and helping you out, and making sure you understand the mindset that I have. And so those are going to be the different areas, right? One, again, be very basic, where we have build a community through the course. And again, I live on Discord. That's what I do. So I'm able to check back and look at things throughout the day, throughout the night, whatever I'm doing. So yeah, those are kind of the two areas that we're looking on, if that helps answer the question.
Okay. Some questions in here as far as receiving payment in crypto or Ethereum.
Yeah, we have that set up. You want, like, we can connect. So pass your email over to Tom or myself or Tyler, but we do have crypto wallets set up for that. So, but because there's offers and things in the checkout, if you want to do a $9.97 crypto send, we'll just provide our wallet address for that. So,
okay. And so, Walden, talk a little bit about the the time frame for those premium calls, those three calls a week.
Cool.
And also just what does the aspect of like the watch list look like for this and potentially even the NFT projects?
Yep. Over the next 30 days, as we're doing this course, our premium groups are 3 times a week. And we've been running these calls for over a year now, coming up on probably, it's been a long time, probably coming up on 1.5 years, 2 years. So Sunday nights, we run Sunday Night Success Club, where we talk about all of our picks for the week. So we find and analyze 3 cryptos and 3 stocks to watch for the week of investing. Now with Tyler involved, we'll also be talking NFTs on that call. So these are things to watch for that week. It's usually about an hour long, sometimes a little bit less. Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. CST. They are all recorded, and the recordings are posted that same night. Like it doesn't have to go through video teams or anything fancy. Like we literally just post the Zoom recording right after it. So like you can get your trade picks for the week lined up before Monday morning even rolls around. On Wednesdays, Tom jumps on and does an office hours for all of our members of Valiant. So like basically if you have questions, if you have things going on with your mindset, if you need questions answered on how to set up something or technical indicators or whatever that might be, Wednesdays office hours is at 3 p.m. CST. And basically runs about 30 minutes a call, sometimes a little bit longer, depending on how many people are on getting their questions answered. Thursdays at 10 a.m. CST, we run a Connect the Dots calls. Connect the Dot call is a speculative trading call where basically I analyze and I use my background with private equity, venture capital, business, and just connections from all over the globe to identify and help locate trends that are evolving and emerging. So we use that data, we use that time to research things that are trends that are about to become, because as we start to isolate and find those trends, now we kind of have a watch list created of things to invest into. So on Thursdays, Connect the Dots calls, it's probably my favorite call that I've ever ran. I love it. I love the reading of the tea leaves, as Tom would say. But I love that call because we get to talk global business and global events and how the Russia-Ukraine situation affected Bitcoin, or how the sanctions are affecting different parts of the stock market, or what to watch for when the US backed dollar isn't the US backed dollar anymore, right? So like we run through scenarios where we run through examples, and a lot of the stuff that we talk about on Thursdays, like it becomes true. It comes to fruition. Like there was stuff that we talked about all the way last March and April that I went back to and found the notes on that happened in the last 12 months, that when we first identified them and like started to like speculate around it, it's like, no, that'll never happen. And then like a couple months later, it happened. And we had our plans and our strategies in place to capitalize on that. So like, it's because we're tied into all these other areas. So with Tyler's experience with NFTs and my experience in the business worlds and all the people I know, it's like we're helping filter this information for the people in those groups. So like without a doubt, I would say that our most successful students are in those premium groups. They're the ones that are getting the knowledge firsthand. They're getting the picks firsthand. They're getting their questions answered all the time. And they're out there practicing what they've been taught and actually doing it and getting the results. So those premium groups that meet 3 times a week, like, yes, it's a little bit of a time commitment, but because they're all recorded, because like you could go just listen to them while you're driving down the road or walking around or even sitting at your desk for work. Like we have one lady that's like religious with these calls, that's on every single one. And like, she never has her camera on. She just sits there on mute and listens to every single call while she's working. Mm-hmm. And that's the value of this, is it can be as interactive as you want it to be, but at least then you're in the loop, you're in the know, you're getting information from all of us, then all the results and connections that we have all over the globe. And that's what makes it super valuable. And like, if you really boil it down, like these calls are like, they might cost you what, like $5 up to $10, like it's nothing, you know, like if you're actually implementing the trade picks weekly on Sundays, you're going to make like $97 a month, like nothing, right? So like as long as you're implementing what you're doing and taking the results and taking the picks, like you're gonna make the money to cover the premium groups like nothing. Like that's chunk change, right? Like you go through a lot of the picks that we've identified over the last like few Sunday nights even. Like I think right now I'm on like, oh man, I would have to go back and crunch some serious numbers, but like I don't think I've recommended a bad pick in like months now. Like most of them, I find the entry exit points. We talk about what's going to happen and when you should be looking at buying, and we basically say, hey, when this happens, set an alert, and then it'll go off and happen. So like one of the last ones that just really popped off that I was really impressed with was like even like predicting the Bitcoin chart or predicting ApeCoin and some of these other ones that like they within a couple of weeks like doubled their money on. So like it's just very cool to see like the premium group members. They spend a little extra time, but they're the ones that want to go on and become those professional traders and do this full time and replace their incomes and get the most results. So as you can tell, I'm very passionate about the premium groups. They're near and dear to my heart because like these courses are amazing and create foundational content, but the evolution of knowledge happens every single day. It's that compounding mindset that Tyler hit on earlier, that like by being in these groups, you're compounding skill sets, you're compounding knowledge, you're staying in the know, you're staying in the loop, and you're making financial decisions based on the right information and not the wrong information. So
awesome. For those who are new to either social media or Discord, can you talk a little bit about, and maybe this is for you, Tyler, what that looks like, or like how that's a valuable asset?
Yeah, so within the NFT space, right? So I want to make it clear, yeah, like Twitter is just where you get a lot of news from, right? And so I want to make sure everyone understands, like, what are some good good people to follow, good groups to follow, for some information, maybe some YouTube channels to start following as well. And Discord is just the lifeblood of a lot of the NFT space, right? And so a lot of every project has a Discord. They have a server within there where you join and you learn more about the project. You learn about what their business plan is. It's just a way of doing that. And if you need some help, we can walk through that, right? We can walk through some Discord communication stuff. I can send you some videos to watch on how to explain how to do things. And so that's some education stuff that I want to bring to people. Whereas if it's easier maybe to set a video aside and have some people watch it and come back with some questions, we can definitely do that. So I would say, using some of those items, it is key within the space.
Awesome. Kind of looking through here.
I'm gonna go grab some water real quick.
I have my surplus down here.
Yeah, I didn't have a surplus. Sorry, I need water.
So there's a question: will anything be taught on for artists about how to convert their art into NFTs, mint it, sell it, anything like that?
Yep. So we do have that plan. I think it's week 2 that we cover a lot of that about how to basically sit there and convert, right? And we also have access to tools that can convert all these special rarity levels for you. So if you do get ready to create your own mint, like you're looking at a lion on the screen right now, and that's like the lion is our Valiant like logo. So like our NFT mint that we're going to do is a lion, but all these things that you see on him, the suit, the robo eye, the smiling grin, the earrings, the mane, all these things are like traits of that image. So like we do have tools available that you create that one layer, that one outline, and then you create all these unique things that make it rare. So as Tyler was saying earlier, there's more rarity levels that come with different images. Like this lion is one of our more rare ones because he's in a suit. Most of our other lions, they're in other things. They have t-shirts on and stuff, but like he's got a legendary trait of wearing a suit. So like we do have tools like that and generator tools, and we can make those recommendations to you and help you go through and actually create a collection of NFTs, or we can actually walk you through and we will go through and actually show you how to do a one-off piece of art. So like take an image, take your video, maybe you're a 3D animator, maybe you're whatever, like we can take it and show you how to actually create one of those live. So I believe that's module 2 or week 2. So it won't be the 13th, it'll be the 20th of April when we cover that stuff. But within the next couple of weeks, you'll be an expert on creating NFTs. Let's say that. So.
All right. Just kind of flipping through here.
Right. Like I said, open-ended Q&A, guys. It's one of the values of every course that we ever do. Get your questions answered. If not, then I have to stand up here and tell jokes, and it gets awkward for everybody. And no, just kidding.
Yeah, so there's a question here just following up on the Discord. The Discord is just basically like a social media platform.
Correct.
Right. So it's a place that people are engaging where you can have conversations. So it's just another social media platform.
There's apps for it, desktop extensions, websites, or browsers like Discord. If you go to Discord, it's discord.com, and then the links are like discord.gg and stuff like that. So, but there's a mobile app for it. Very easy. So as you're signing up tonight, like you'll receive an email within the next couple of days with like all these things in it. So our link to our Twitter feeds, our links to our websites, our links to the Discord servers, like Telegram feeds, like everywhere that we are, like there's a master email that goes out basically giving you an invite code to all those areas. And as you're signing up, you'll notice that the membership area is like instant access. Like you already have access to it. And as you go through that, on our website, we have our own social media platforms and communities and stuff like that. So like, there's literally no excuse to not be part of one of our communities. Like we have community reach on all those platforms. So as you get that email over the next couple of days, just keep that in mind. Like you don't have to know them all. You don't have to use them all. Get familiar using one or two of them. You know, get good at like just communicating with us in whatever one that feels the best for you. Telegram is a platform out there that we use. It's very similar to text messages. There's groups and stuff that you can set up, but it's a messaging app. It's very simple. Discord is going to be, it's an audio based platform. So it's audio, text, but there's ways to build in different layers and rooms and exclusivity to things. Like it's just different, right? They're different tools and resources. And I'm not saying you should go out there and try to become a master of all of them. Like, yeah, pick one or two and get good at those, and then evolve, and then take the next steps and add in tools to your toolbox. But like, I would recommend like Discord. Like our Discord will be a primary spot, and our mobile app / website and our community through Valiant, like that's our other main spot. Like I spend a lot of time on our own website, on our old social media platform, because that's where our members are at. Our hundreds of students that have gone through courses, thousands of people that we've educated, they're on our website. And I love connecting with them. And we built it for that because I hate Facebook. Like I don't want to create a Facebook group and have it get taken away. And I don't want to build it on somebody else's platform. So like Discord is very like good. Telegram is very good. But we also have that resource of having our own website, our own apps, so that if any time one of those things goes away, we still have the whole community and it's ours. It's on our server, right? So like you will have access. And I make a joke usually right around the time we're talking about all these platforms is, as long as you're not trying to send me smoke signals, like you'll get a response, right? So I am everywhere. I feel like in a digital world, I'm on Slack, I got my phone, I got my other phone, I got my computers, my messenger, like I'm everywhere. So as long as you find a way that works well with you, like I will make it work well for me. Like it's more important for you to be comfortable and for you to find a way that is good for you to communicate with me, because I want to communicate back. But if you're sending me smoke signals, I can't do that back because I don't know how to send smoke signals, right? So, but on all these other platforms, I joke about it, but find something that works well for you. So.
So I know that there's a lot of overlap of people who did the Crypto Growth Accelerator with Uncensored Crypto. Can you talk a little bit about just how they can either swap out the course or even just, what it looks like if they've already had that offer?
Yeah, perfect. So the Crypto Growth Accelerator, for those of you that don't know, like it was that 6-week course that we ran for Uncensored Crypto and the Decentral Publishing team. We just wrapped that up last week. So it's a 6-week course, all based on how to accelerate your crypto investments. And we're including that in as a bonus tonight for people that sign up before Monday. If you have already taken that course and you know if you've taken it or not, like it was a 6-week course where you basically got to be best buddies with Tom and I and like conquering the world of crypto. Like, if you've taken that or not. And we can also verify with DCP if we have to. But if you have taken it, but you don't know anything about stock, where there's business classes, there's a ton of different courses on our website. That if you find one that is interesting to you, we'll just swap out that bonus and give you access to a different course. So like that is an offer I'm making to the people that have gone through CGA or Crypto Growth Accelerator. If you haven't gone through it yet, that is the bonus tonight because it links arms really well with this NFT course that we're going to do. Provides the inner workings on how to trade and be successful trading crypto. And it's included in that offer tonight. So I want you guys to go through and take it because as you're finding NFTs and projects in the metaverse, there's coins linked to projects. Like ApeCoin is linked to Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club and Cool Cats and some of these other ones, right? Like there are coins that are linked to it. And now if you know how to trade and like basically invest crypto, it gives you a dual threat ability to go make money. So like I do want, if you've never taken CGA, the bonus will stay CGA. If you have taken Crypto Growth Accelerator and want to swap it out for a different course, message us, like hit me up, hit Tom up, and we'll change your access level on the website so that instead of seeing CGA, you will see the stock course. But we will go back and verify that you've gone through that course because I don't want to give you other courses if you haven't even taken the one that links up really nicely with this. So
okay. There's a request to go back to the page that shows everything that's included in the offer. Are you able to make that?
Yep. So 4 live Zoom tradings once a week over the next week or over the next 4 weeks or the month. So we'll wrap up that first week of May. We have live Q&A sessions at the end of every Zoom, open-ended, stay on for as long as you need. As long as there's questions, like we'll answer them. You have lifetime access to all the trainings. So that it doesn't matter, like if you come back 2 years from now, 10 years from now, or your kids inherit your access, like you have access for lifetime. So all the recordings to those 4 live Zooms and those Q&A sessions, access to the curated watch lists, which are the Sunday night watch lists, and basically us picking things. If you do like choose to join the allow list and buy the NFT, the Valiant NFT, there's additional watch lists that come with that, like Tyler mentioned in the private Discord. The priority support and analysis on all platforms and all channels. Like you can send us a chart, you can send us a project to analyze, you can ask questions dedicated directly to us, one-on-one questions or even to the group. So like on all those platforms that we talked about, email, apps, Discord, Twitter, whatever it is. Private groups, you'll have access to our premium private groups for the month of us doing this class. And then you get the CGA or the Crypto Growth Accelerator course. That's a 6-module course. And if you've done that already, that's what we're saying. We'll swap it out for the stock course or a business investment course or some other course that's already been done.
And we just had someone come up like, so if I guess they would make the purchase first to the NFT course and then let you know like what that what the swap looks like.
Exactly. Yep. So just go through the checkout process. Once you're through it, ping me. We'll get the course verified that you have gone through it or been part of it, and then we'll get it swapped out on your account.
Question just came in. If after the month of having access to the premium calls, what does it look like to stay in those groups?
Well, that's a good question. So it is $97 a month. In the checkout process tonight, we actually make that offer so that usually in the past we've sold that for $147 all the way up to like I said tonight $297. In the checkout process tonight, we're selling it for $97 a month. It'll auto enroll you so that the next month it processes it for you. So it is available in there. And if it's something where you say no tonight, but after you go through it in a month time and now you want to be part of it, like we will honor that $97 price point and provide you a link to sign up at any time. So that's actually it's a standalone standalone product. However, like you have to come through a course to get access to those groups. It's not something that Tom and I are out and Tyler are out just like marketing these premium groups, because we want to keep this to people that we've trained, that know our methodologies, that know our systems and processes, that know our education. Because if we're letting in random people off the street, like who knows what baggage they're bringing with them or trading tactics or whatever their intent is. Whereas people that come through our courses now have kind of our sign off to go into those groups, right? So like we're grooming you into the successful point of being in a premium group. So that's the main value there.
Okay. And then just another follow-up to that, as far as if someone goes with the NFT, the Valiant NFT, where we talked about having access to those groups, what is, I guess the question is, does the NFT cover access to those groups? What does that look like?
The NFT covers all this stuff on the premium alpha group Discord server. So I am in the process of building an NFT portal into the website so that the NFT will give you access to the premium groups and the like courses and all that stuff. It will be your login token. It does not exist yet. So when it does, at that point in the future, yes, it will. But for right now, that NFT token that will be minted here in the next couple of weeks will give you access to the Discord server, the alpha group server, basically, that Tyler runs specifically and dedicated to the NFT side of things. So the premium stuff that Tyler was talking about tonight in regards to additional 1-hour trainings, additional priority like analysis of projects, him going through and going live and actually showing you mints that are happening right now and being able to like get in on early releases or things that he's finding out in other alpha groups that he can now present to our group, like in those private settings. So like first and foremost, that mint will allow people to access the alpha group. In the future, once the stuff that I'm working on for the website's done, then yes, we will allow that mint to access different levels of our website. So
just to be clear, when you say adding different access to the website, they're following up here, and this is Ellie. So you're saying the NFT does cover the premium groups, right?
Yes.
Okay, just to be clear. You are welcome, Ellie. Thank you for clarifying. Some question on the Valiant mobile app. Just says the Valiant mobile app, but yeah, talk about what's on the app, the features, benefits to it.
Yep.
Where can they get it?
And we do have an update that'll be rolling out here. I'm projecting over the next month or so, but right now it's an app. It's on Android. It's on iOS in the stores. Like I never bit the Apple, so when I talk about apps, it's always the App Store, but or Google Play Store. But on here, it allows you to connect to all the members. So once you log in, it's the same sign up login as your account. But you can log in and all of our members are on there. So it's like a little mini social media site, but all of our courses are on there. Our different groups access points are in there. Our chats are in there. We have different PDF resources and downloads that you can access through there. Most of our links to all of our social sites are on there. So as we build out the rest of the Discord stuff, it's going to be on there. But like the mobile app is really like a central hub for communication and education, because you can download the modules, you can download the PDFs, and you can download the slide decks and everything that come with the courses straight from the app. So that we made a joke a long time ago about basically having Walden in your pants, right? But it was an instant access to me, because like I answer as a priority a lot of the times through the app. So it's communication platform. So if you think about Facebook and being able to like post things and news feeds and groups and messaging platforms, and then you have like Reddit with like forums and stuff, all that stuff exists on our website and our app. So hopefully that isn't too overwhelming, but the app's pretty broad and has a lot of really good resources in it. Okay. Even for Apple users. I joke because my household's split. So my wife's a huge Apple user, Apple everything, iPads and iPhones and iMacs and and I'm like, I'm an Android guy. And for a while I did have her convert, but like she fell back into her old ways.
So question here, what are the costs? What costs are involved in minting a collection?
That's a good question. And Tyler, I know both of us have different perspectives of this, so I'll answer quickly and then I'll turn it over to you. But it's gonna vary on the collection. Like I mean, I've minted stuff for like very, very little, all the way up to pretty hefty mints, like thousands of dollars on a single mint. So when you start to talk about collections, so as a creative person, if you're going to create a collection, sometimes you can get your whole collection out there, and until somebody mints it, it doesn't really cost you anything. In other situations where you want to mint it, you want to get it on the marketplaces for trade, then it comes down to what you want to mint it for. So like, Tyler, do you want to talk a little bit of strategy around like both sides of that equation, of whether you're creative creating a collection and setting your mint price, or whether you're a trader minting an NFT or a collection of NFTs for that matter? Did you freeze on me, Tyler? Oh, unmute. There you go. Okay, you got to click the button though.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, right. I'm back. Yeah, sorry. No, so on the creative side, right? It depends. Like if you're just an artist, like looking to upload 20 pieces on a collection, right? You're gonna pay a transaction fee on OpenSea, right? To get that collection uploaded, right? On the Ethereum network, there's transaction fees you got to pay anywhere from $50 to $200, right? And then after that, set your prices and you're good to go with that. And like when you're setting prices, right? It's like, hey, maybe on like the Genesis collection, your first collection, you never did this, you have no marketing. Set at 0.1 Ethereum, 0.05, right? And when I talk Ethereum numbers, like I know it's like, it doesn't seem like a lot, but like 0.1 right now is $300, right? Is it 300? Yeah, $300. And so like, so when we look at that stuff, it's that's just still, it could be quite a bit of money to people, but on the, so hopefully that answers. So on OpenSea, but if you have like a collection of 5,000 that you want to set up a contract, set up a website, right? You're going to get into way more costs than that, right? Because you got to pay a developer to get your contract set up. I know one of the best developers in the space, right? And he's charged anywhere from getting percentages back on the royalties, or he's charged a flat fee of Ethereum. And then you got to pay someone to set the website up, or unless you know how to do that. And then market and stuff like that. So there is usually some pretty significant costs to set some of that up. And as you look at projects, right? And that's why when you look at a project of like a 5,000 collection or 7,000, you're like, that's 0.05 Ethereum, do the math on that. That's a lot of money in someone's pocket. And they've got to then use that money as an investment, either to pay their team and then use that for future developments of their project. So that's one way to look at it as a creator. And hopefully that answered everyone's questions on that. Again, low collection size, I just go straight to OpenSea. My friend over in England, she's done it. She's she did it really well, and she's her collection's doing great. But she had to market that. She has a story behind her collection. And then for trading, right, the mints differ a lot. So anywhere from 0.04, 0.05 Ethereum. And I've minted stuff like this morning, I minted stuff for 0.5, which is $1,500, right? So it just varies, right? And that's where getting an allow list, right? Getting a giveaway, doing something can get you the advantage on minting that pre-hand and like maybe for 0.05 and then it sells for 0.4, right? So you just made a lot of money, but it's just your time. And I want to bring those resources to everyone and give you, because, you know, I'll send Tom and Walden and say, hey, get on this allow list and it's going to be really good. Like, just trust me, and then you can research the project. So yeah, it's those are ways to get started and not spend a lot of money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and for those who are brand new to this lingo and NFTs, what is minting? Can you simplify minting?
Yeah, simplifying it. So essentially minting, so you have a collection, you have a project, right? And they have 5,000 on the blockchain. So they've got it secured and they want to sell those. So minting is, think of it just buying from the creator, right? You're buying from them. You're not buying on secondary. You're almost buying like an IPO directly from the company, from the source. So they're using those funds as an initial investment for their project or to develop the project further. So you are just giving the creator money, minting that through a transaction on the Ethereum blockchain, to then in return, you get to hold that NFT, and you can either hold it or sell it. So minting, when you hear minting, you're just buying it straight from the collectors. When you hear, hey, I just bought this off the secondary, that means someone went in and went to OpenSea, the open marketplace, right? And they bought an NFT off of the collection already established, right? And then that's when you get into the creators, right? Get a royalty off of that. And then OpenSea gets a royalty off of that as well. When you mint, there's no royalty, right? There's just a transaction fee on the blockchain. Now, when you go to sell it, you're going to get deducted some of that money for the royalties and stuff like that. So hopefully that makes sense and simplifies the minting versus like a buying on secondary.
Yeah, and just if you're familiar with stock market or whatever, like when a company goes public with their stock, right? It's called the IPO, initial public offering, which when they do that, what they do is they only make those shares available to a certain amount of people, right? Or even the brokerage firms only make those shares, those very initial shares, available to a certain amount of people. And then once they become put in those people's accounts, they become live for those people to go trade. And that's what he's talking about, the secondary market, right? When they go straight from the company to you, that's called the primary market. And then the secondary market is when I'm trading it with somebody else, right? It's where the company is no longer involved. It's a similar type of thing with the mint, right? The project creators are creating their NFTs, and when the mint is going directly to the first people who haven't ever had, like, they've never been traded, they've never been sold, right? So they get dropped in those wallets. And then now when you have it, if you're a part of that mint, you can go trade it to other people in the marketplace. So
yeah, and one other clarification as well, Tom, like I'm sure people here have heard of Kickstarter, right? Where people raise funds like to back a project, to get a product in return. You can almost think of minting like that, like you're supporting like a Kickstarter on the blockchain. So I like to go to that reference because then it like triggers a lot with people like, oh, I've done that. I like what this person's coming out with a product. I want to get involved on the early stages of that. So I'm gonna get into that product, $100, $200, because in return I'm getting that product, right? So think of that like you're minting, you're giving that creator money for in return that NFT. So just think of it that way for simplifications on like a Kickstarter type mindset as well.
Cool. So question, a couple of people asking, where will this recording?
We're going to send out a link to the recording. So hopefully tonight, this will probably take about an hour to process the recording on Zoom. As soon as it does, we'll send that back out. Like it might not be like tonight, just because like it's gonna get kind of late on us, but tomorrow the replay link will be sent out. So as long as you opted in to get here tonight or registered to be here tonight, we have your email address, we'll send out a recording link to it, so that you have that. So
Don't worry, we're not using my internet for that either. It would take like 3 days.
right, the rural American, Starlink should be coming your way, Tyler.
Flipping through here, I think that
But everything, Tom, wasn't bad.
I'm double checking. If I haven't answered your question, feel free to copy and paste it to the bottom of the chat so we can see it. There are a few people who either having issues just with the payment as far as like it going through. And what's the best way for them to just get that rectified or get serviced in regards to helping that go through?
Can you capture their name, Tom, and then we'll reach out to them?
Okay.
And if there's anybody that hasn't reached out yet, if you're having issues with payment or you want to process a crypto payment or anything like that, just literally message me. Like, we just need to exchange wallets and you can send the crypto. Or if it is a payment thing, just because I know people have limits on their debit cards and credit cards, and sometimes the banks get in the way of this. So just we as long as you try to push through the transaction, like, we'll work with you and make sure you lock in this discounted rate. So just make sure that we're in the loop, kind of knowing what's going on. And we'll also do our best to reach out if we see a declined payment or anything like that. So.
And the best email I just put in the chat is hello@valianttrader.com.
Hello. Exciting stuff, guys. I had a pleasure being on with you all tonight, and hopefully you learned a lot of good nuggets about NFT trading and just getting a quick jump start onto what it is. Hopefully we see you in this course, but we will start to wrap up now. So a little bit of housekeeping before we wrap up. As I said earlier, the recording will be sent out as soon as it's done processing tonight. So you will have access to that. We appreciate each and every one of your time. If you are in on the course, you have, or I should say, if you're not in on the course, you have until April 11th at midnight CST to get in for the discounted pricing. After that, it'll go back up to the $14.97 price. And basically our first course will be, our first module will be Wednesday the 13th at 7 p.m., all recorded, and make sure that you will always have lifetime access to that. So get in now before Monday, secure your spots, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. If there are questions or if you have other points of feedback for us, please reach out to us. Like, we love feedback. We love being able to critique ourselves to do better in our presentations and delivery of content. So whether you're reaching out to give us feedback, reaching out to get questions answered, you have our contact methods. You can connect with us offline about anything that you need to. But with that being said, I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to Tom for helping us facilitate the Q&A and being on tonight to help us run the groups. It makes life so much easier and so much smoother when we have a moderator like yourself on the trainings. And another thank you for Tyler for jumping on with us tonight, spending couple hours away from his family and bedtime routines and stuff like that to help really bring education and knowledge back to everybody on this call tonight. So thank you, Tyler, for joining in with us tonight, sharing your knowledge, and I look forward to working beside you and also learning beside you over the next 4 weeks as we deliver what should be one of the best NFT courses on the market. So I'm very excited for that. And with that being said, do you guys have any final notes from either one of you guys?
I just appreciate everyone's time tonight. I know it got late on everyone and that we went a little bit over, but I really wanted to touch on a lot of the knowledge and stuff that I learned early on and what I'm doing now. So if you're very interested, I look forward to teaching you and maybe learning something that you find throughout the course with your research. So I'm looking forward to building this community and being a part of it with everyone. So thank you for everyone's time tonight.
Cool. And Tom, anything?
No, I don't really have much to add. Again, just appreciate everyone being here, as just desire to learn, and yeah, it's exciting to work with those type of people.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna stop share. Everybody have a good rest of your night. The link for the recording will be sent out as soon as we have it. So have a good one. Thank you again for tuning in and joining us, and have a great rest of your week. Bye.